right, this is just the Prison Talk podcast. We'll roll right into it. I don't know. This is nothing about growth. This is nothing about any nuggets to take away from this.
Nothing.
It's
Just reminiscing.
Straight good times.
Sandy's got his phone on loud still.
I had to put it on mute.
Yeah, I think I'm the same boat actually.
Okay, now you guys making me double check.
No, I was good.
So I'm gonna call everybody out, and then I'm gonna have.
All right.
Oh.
I guess I'll just start. I started at the prison in 2015. Did 10 years. Was mainly at ISCC transport and 6 months on the yard. Then decided to do greater things. But
Much greater things.
Yeah. You guys just want to go around and say how long
Guess
you were
we're
in
doing
there.
introduction.
Yeah.
You want me to go next?
Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right.
Good.
I honestly don't remember when I started.
I guess you could say your name too.
Yeah, Kyle Nations.
My bad.
You know, yeah,
This isn't
good.
scripted at all. We're just going. So.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to say it was like 2015, 2016, something like that. Actually, I started at the yard. That's where my FTO was. Spent 6 months there, and then transferred to Max, and then went from Max to ISCC. It's kind of funny. I was working in A block at Max and was getting tired of getting sprayed by OC and everything. So I was like, I want to change of pace. I'm going to go to ISCC.
Go to G block.
Yeah, then I get to ISCC and they're like, oh, you got Max experience? Guess what? You're going to G block. I'm like,
just as much.
yeah, I'm like sick. Yeah. I actually, arguably, I would say ISCC, I probably end up getting sprayed more than Max. Yeah. I think it's just because of the amount of inmates too. We had 6 tiers instead of 3. At Max you just had 3 tiers, and half the inmates. So
You had more inmates. I think we did the math, and you had more inmates in ISCC G block than you did all of IMSI.
that
I think
I wouldn't
IMSI was
argue
like
that. Yeah,
450 and G block was like 336.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little bit more, but
it's pretty dang close.
it's pretty close.
I mean, I think the tiers all were the same because it was 64. No, it was 32, so 64 inmates on each tier.
Yeah.
We only had 3 tiers at Max and then 6 at ISCC.
Well, and then the problem with G Block is they should have been Max, but we had to treat them as medium custody.
100%.
It was like,
And it was all the
just a
same dudes
nightmare.
it was
All
literally
the
all the
same
guys from A block that would, and they were just swapping back and forth.
Again, all the guys, all of our inmates were the ones that we got from IMSI.
Yeah.
When they first opened, I remember when IDOC took over and they flooded that, everybody just flooded it with IMSI guys.
Yeah.
That's a cool part because you're the private prison, and then you got to see both sides.
That's right. You were CCA, huh?
Private prison was so much easier to deal with, to manage inmates wise. I mean, we had a lot more authority than you did with the state. And then also with their, we had everybody segregated. So it's not like when IDOC first took over and we just flooded everybody whenever we tried to put sex offenders in the North Wing. And they're like, hey, this is the way it's going to be. And you're just like, it's not going to work. And
Yeah.
we're having fights every single day of the week. It's just every time those doors are rolled, somebody's fighting out in the hallways. And
I want to dive into that more as later on after we do the introduction and stuff, because I'm interested in how that transition went and the fights and all the chaos.
horribly.
Yeah, I want to dive into that more for sure.
So how long were you out there?
So I started out in February of 2013, left August 24th, 2021.
He's got the dates.
Yeah. I mean, who's keeping count,
Yeah.
It was, I remember because it was 3 days before my birthday, and that was my birthday present, was leaving the department.
leaving High Talk.
Yeah.
You went out with a bang too.
Yeah, it was a rough exit.
We'll get into that too.
Yeah.
Not my proudest moment, but it had to be done.
Absolutely.
And you were all at ISCC and CCA, whatever
Yeah,
it is. So.
yeah. And again, CCA was a totally different animal because going there every day, the shifts were different. We were working 12 to 16 hours a day, but you had 4 on, 3 off, 3 on, 4 off.
That was a schedule I feel like everybody wanted with IDOC, at least when I was leaving.
But then didn't we go to 8s? Wasn't there?
It was 5/8 when
Yeah.
IDOC took over.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
And all the CCA people hated it.
Yeah. It was because it just wasn't, it was changing what we were used to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily say that I hated it, but it did give me more time off with the 4 on, 3 off. Though, even though I'd spent my first day sleeping because you're working 16 hours a day, you're just exhausted mentally and physically.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, Jeff Anderson, I started a year before Matt, the year of the state taking over. So I started with IDOC, but it was the first year of IDOC in DEF at the time.
Oh, so you were there
G-Block.
too
Yeah.
when, okay.
So I
Yeah,
was
that's
there right
interesting.
at the start of that. I trained Matt when he came in.
Yeah.
He looked a little younger back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'd be following me around, and all the inmates would always holler at us, "Hey, is it bring your kid to work, Anderson?"
You did look hella young back then. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you had to clap back at them though. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they would just be
Yeah.
That was
bugging you
one
the
thing
whole
you
time.
were good at.
They would eat
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Oh, what did I always say to them? I was like, "I'm at least 18. Don't worry, I'm out of your playbook,"
Yeah.
or something like that.
Oh, damn.
They're like, "We're not all sex offenders in here," and then the guy in the very back's like, "Yeah, but you are."
I will say the shit talking on the tiers is probably some of the most fun.
It was the
Oh,
best.
yeah.
The cackling was great.
Yeah.
Because you just got to give it right
It's
back.
100%.
Get your
Yeah.
respect
Yep.
if you could give it back.
100%.
Or you just get it every single day.
Yeah, they're sharks. I mean, they smelt blood in the water. They can go after it for sure. All right, so you were, what units did you
So-
work?
I was G Block for 2 years, then Rec for 2 years, and then I did A Block, and then finished in Central Control.
Central Control. Like I said, I don't think you could pay me enough to work Central Control.
Oh, I had fun with it.
G Block was, man, you know, when I was in G Block, I only worked it one time. I remember Brajas was like, "Hey, I got you." I was like, "Okay." So we start up there training. I hit the wrong door one time, and I was like, "Nope, done.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm working up here." I've seen too many of those doors roll and too many dudes get beat up. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Not gonna be able to get
Yeah.
me."
Yeah,
You-
they have the bars on there now, but
Yeah.
that took a long time
Yeah.
for them to learn.
Well, I was asking that when I came over from Max, like, how do you guys not have the sliders on there? And they're like, "Oh, we've been asking for it for a while, just not putting them on there." I'm like, do you know how many fights you guys would like stop
Yeah.
by just having those sliders on the doors?
Yeah,
But
that was a big issue.
sounds like
at
enough-
the initial takeover, deciding it changed almost weekly whether we were doing 4 doors at a time for Rec
Yeah,
or 6
6
doors at
doors.
Oh,
a time for
dude.
Rec. So like we went up to like 8 doors at a time at one point. Instantly get a fight. Next week we're down to 6 doors, and then we'd have a fight that week, and down to 4 doors at a time.
And it
just
probably changed with
constantly
shifts,
changing.
too.
And even after you left, it became even more difficult because I remember, like, when I was in there, you had tier 1, which was all open.
yeah,
Oh, they made it like a GP
Yeah,
unit.
we had
Yeah.
it all open. So now it was just like you're constantly hearing the beeps going off up there. And I remember watching Brajas, like she was just the best person I've ever seen up in pod control. And she'd
Yeah.
always know, like, hey, she'd question herself before she'd roll a door. But you know, you'd have all these doors beeping on one, so she'd be rolling those, and then these guys are beeping over here, and I don't know how people maintain it, but going like he was saying, you got, you know, 6 doors on this walk, 4
Yeah.
doors on this walk because it's the smaller tiers, and then you've got all the doors on this walk, and you got to know which walks are
Every
out at
unit's
which times,
different.
and yeah,
And that, when we started in there, when it first took over, I'm sure you were there for that. We didn't have the cameras. We didn't have cameras
Nothing.
in the back
Yeah.
sally
Really?
ports. The
Nope.
radios didn't work in
Nope.
the back sally ports. So you had to remember everything working in central control in there. It was like, okay, you're buzzing people into the back sally port to get them out to Rec.
yeah.
And then you're the officer in there with 8 of these max inmates,
Yeah.
and there's no camera, your
No
radio doesn't work, and you're just hoping this pod control guy remembers you.
Oh my god.
Because you get trapped in there for 10 minutes
Yeah.
with these guys, and they're getting antsy because
Yeah.
that's their rec time.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
they
you're like,
want their
man, I'm
time.
trying. Let's
Yeah.
try to take it up against me.
Yeah.
What was it like when it was CCA? Because
It
I
was
remember they had those big fights on the TV or on YouTube that you could look up. So I
Yeah,
remember
because that's when it was gladiator
so
school.
Yeah.
Gladiator
Yeah.
school, that's
it's
where I
not what
started.
they really okay. So they said that it's not really. I mean, I guess I'm speaking for myself in the time that I was there, but it wasn't like what they portray on TV. Yeah, we had fights,
Yeah.
but we had just as many fights, if not a whole lot more, in my opinion, a whole lot more with IDOC.
Okay.
So I guess it depends on who you talk to, but you know, it was the same way back then as far as like the radios and stuff. Obviously, we had issues with it.
yeah.
I feel like the radios, the technology we had was better before IDOC took over, because then the IDOC swapped over to whatever
Yeah, budget
that
The
stuff.
little China radio.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
never worked.
and
Dude, those
you
things are
constantly
horrible.
depending on where you were at, yeah, it was just fuzz. You couldn't hear, just static. You couldn't
Yeah.
hear anything. So that was a frustration when IDOC first took over because they wanted all their own equipment. It was a pissing match. They didn't want anything having to do with CCA, and that was pure point blank how it was. They wanted to separate themselves and say, hey, we're IDOC now. Nothing's the CCA way.
Do you think it was because of the lawsuits that were pending and stuff
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, you're talking to someone that wasn't involved in all the politics,
too? Yeah.
like the higher ups. But from what I had overheard and what I witnessed, it was basically, in my opinion, basically all over the fact of the lawsuits
Yeah.
and everybody was like, well, the CCA is for profit and we're trying to avoid the for profit. They just want to keep people in there incarcerated because it's money, which
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wasn't about money.
Yeah, for
Everything's
sure.
about money.
Always
So-
follow the trail.
But I mean, really, in the end, IDOC had just as many problems, if not more, than CCA did while I was there.
I heard it was a lot more strict of like the hall movements were like
Oh, yeah.
way better. 'Cause-
And G Block was different. You didn't take an inmate out of G Block without cuffs. So they
Never.
were in full
Never did.
restraints, leg and
Yeah.
wrist restraints whenever they went through the hallways.
I mean, that was like how Max was.
Yeah.
It was anybody that was leaving out of A block was.
And we
pretty
didn't
much-
roll the cells like they did with when I was there either way when it was G Block. Like you rolled one cell, you had officers out there one cell at a time.
Yeah.
Hey, you want your buddies to get out? You better shut your door. So they'd open up their door, get their stuff out real quick, close their door,
And you guys always had an officer on the tier, right?
Yeah. and they just do one cell at a time. So the chances of you rolling a big tier is pretty slim because
Yeah.
you're only rolling one door. So if you
Yeah.
if you screw up, you're only rolling one door. Only two dudes are getting beat up.
I'm sorry. I wonder how many dudes got beat up for taking too long, to get their stuff, Because
That I
those guys
don't-
get
well-
DP'd all the time for the dumbest stuff.
But back then too, they was split up by gangs.
Yeah.
So you had the AKs, the SVC, the Serenos, the Norteños. They were all separated.
Yeah.
So they're just going to beat up their own homies.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they're beating up this Southsider because
Yeah.
he took too long and the white dudes were pissed off.
That's a
Yeah.
big question that always comes up is why don't they just segregate them? And I say it's because it's like a numbers issue. If you try and segregate all the Serenos versus all the Norteños, it's like you got 300 to 30.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that for a scheduling thing?
True.
You can only schedule it down so much. Cause
There's ways
At the end
around
of the day,
it, though, if
prison's
they want
prison,
it.
and
I
you
mean,
gotta-
they did it with CCA.
Yeah.
So if they were able to do it then, which obviously our numbers were different because when IDOC came through, we just tossed everybody from everywhere.
Yeah.
And so
Everyone
I
from
guess it's a little
ICC.
bit different.
Yeah, it's kind of wild just thinking like the operational standpoint of all this stuff but no, I think you're right. I mean, it does come up often. Like, why don't and see, I've thought about this kind of often, or I did think about this often. Like, why don't we just put the Serenos on one walk and then the AKs on one walk? Like, oh well, then it's power in numbers. It's like I get that, but their numbers are what, 16?
They have power numbers anyway.
Yeah.
When it comes to officers versus inmates, they're always going to stand together with each other.
Yeah, but when you separate them into different walks, now they can recruit new guys that come in. You know what I mean? Because it's a revolving door in those units for the most part. People get moved and swapped, and so if you've got all the AKs on one walk, and people come in, the person that comes in is going to already be AKs. So it's like they can't recruit. I don't know. I mean, I see both sides of it, I guess, but that was kind of my thought on it. Like, why don't let them feel powerful? Let them feel like they have numbers or whatnot. And
Well, you don't want them to feel powerful at the same time. Like,
no, but you get what I'm saying. Like, let them feel like we've got our numbers, but it's like, okay, that's fine. You've got your numbers, but you're still not getting more people now because it's only you guys on the walk. You don't have the rotating 1 to 2 people moving out and moving in per week or whatever it is. I don't know. But then again, on the other side, then you've got 16 guys that, let's say, I don't know, Barajas or Sande comes in and pisses somebody off, and now you've got 16
That was
AKs.
normal.
That
That was
know.
a regular
I know what
thing.
you're talking about. That wasn't me, guys.
Yeah. Pissing somebody off. Now you got 16 dudes that are all like, okay, because they were like, hey, if one rolls, we all roll type of thing. So I guess I could see that side of it, the safety aspect where, if one dude wants to tee off, the other 15 are going to go with him.
I just want to point out anybody I pissed off probably deserved it. So.
That is valid. That is valid.
What was some of the crazy stuff that happened during CCA? Because I've heard some stories from staff, like
So
staff side, not inmate side, but I've heard some.
I have
like
heard some
the
wild
Tennessee,
stuff.
like the people that came in from Tennessee.
Gosh. So again, for the time that I was there, which was CCA, I was there for about a year when before it transferred over, and obviously the differences was we were so short staffed that we brought in officers from all over the country. So
Were they other CCA people?
yeah,
Okay.
from Georgia facilities. So we actually CCA had I guess you can call it a department.
Yeah.
And it was a department of people from all over the place, and they'd be like, "Hey, I'm single. I'm cool to travel. Okay, we're gonna toss you over to Idaho for a
So
little
it could
bit."
be like a post almost, where
Yes.
like you're traveling.
Yeah, and we had them Tennessee, Georgia, Florida.
Dude, that'd be kind of cool,
all over
actually.
the
Kind of like the
place. And-
traveling nurses.
Yeah,
it
that'd be
was
kinda
exactly
cool.
just like traveling nurse. You're a traveling prison worker, and I mean, they made way better money
Yeah.
because they were constantly getting overtime.
Per diem and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
and they got paid their pay rate that they were at. So if their prison made more than us, then they're making. If they weren't making more, then they would make our rate.
Oh, wow.
So no matter what, they were making more,
Yeah.
or at least our amount.
Yeah.
And then for them, they came through, and I don't know what all I can say on here, but like they were running through our staff.
No way.
They were running through. I won't name names, but they were running through our staff, right and left, up on the rooftops, in the offices.
No way,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, those little staff offices on the tiers, right?
yeah. Especially in I'm not
Separate
in JKL in the North Wing.
Yeah.
Those offices that didn't have windows. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey, why are those two in there for so long? Not my monkey, not my circus.
Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't hear about all this stuff. That's
Oh, yeah.
Some
wild.
people got some crazy nicknames that stuck around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
The DEF pod control. You'd be working pod control, and someone would sneak up because they had that roof access.
Yeah, the access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd climb up there. I just need some air, and then just a little bit later, someone else. I need some air. It was like,
Oh god.
"You
That's
just
brutal,
get away
dude.
from me."
Like prison's like the grossest place you could.
It's
Yeah,
so
the rooftops are pretty clean though, right?
I mean, I guess. But then
Under
again,
the
if you're
stars, dude?
yeah, if you're a traveling CO, I mean, I guess that's. I mean,
I mean, most of those, again, if you looked at the traveling, all the ones that were traveling, they were all, for the most part, all single.
yeah.
Young, single guys.
How long were these contracts for? Would it be like weeks
That
or
I can't
months
speak
or?
for sure, but like they were typically monthly.
Okay.
It wasn't weekly. They were there for a few months, and it depends too. Like some would be shorter than longer, and then they would just rotate. So they'd have Tennessee there, and then we'd have Florida come in, then Florida would leave, and then we have Georgia come in, and
Were they all pretty squared away though, or?
yeah, like we had a lot. I know quite a few of the Florida and Tennessee guys were CERT. They're CERT. What did they call? They didn't call it CERT. SORT. The SORT team, Special Operations Response Team.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were all SORT guys. A lot of them came in. Most of them that came into our facility were males.
Yeah.
I can only think of a few females that came through, and I didn't know how well they had it at the prison or didn't have it.
Yeah.
I just know the guys had it pretty good.
Yeah. That's wild, dude. That's wild.
Jeez.
I don't know.
You guys had some cool stuff too. I remember you guys had like pepper balls and
Dude, DEF, you had everything. So you know that little
Those taken
opening
away.
that was underneath
Yeah.
the thing?
yeah.
You had, I mean, we had cases of grenades, all the different types of grenades, gas grenades and stuff like
Yeah.
we had.
Flashbangs.
You had everything. You had your pepper ball gun that was down there
Yeah.
because DEF was essentially its own. I mean, just like when we were there, it's its own world.
It was
Yeah.
gladiator school.
And yeah, gladiator
I
school,
mean, I
if
feel
you
like
want
it
to call
still
it,
was
like
even that, like when it was IDOC or like before we left, because I feel like until they made, what was it, tier 1, that they made that like GP unit.
yeah,
I feel like
which
before,
was retarded.
yeah, before that
Well, they did it on
happened.
tier 6 too because they could just go out the back door and
Yeah, that was
whatever.
it was just stupid.
Yeah, that whole again the decision making. We'll get into that stuff too, but I forgot where I was going with that. Does this ever happen to you?
Yeah,
You're like mid train of thought, and then
all the
like,
time as you get older.
yeah, God, I'm just tired. Anyways, forget what I said.
yeah, they had all those gas grenades and stuff. Is what you were talking
Yeah,
about.
all the officers took them.
Oh, was that like?
Yeah, remember the
dude, I
last day, everybody was
I
like,
remember
just take
right
the
before
case.
IDOC took over, like there were guys that were like stuffing their backpacks full of CS grenades and the riot.
Were they like
riot
readily
grenades.
available though? Like you could use it as like a, like like we could
No,
just
no.
pull OC and spray.
No.
You still had to
You
get, like,
had to
shift
have that was
command?
all special permissions.
Okay.
And it wasn't just like Sandy's just going out there and just throwing one. No, you had to have
Like you couldn't gear up with a pepper ball
no,
gun.
you
Still
had to
had to
have
get-
training.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had to have training for it. So it's not
like
like
less lethals and everything.
yeah,
else.
it wasn't just me. Oh, hey, he said I could throw one. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I'd been throwing.
We got a
them every
one-on-one
cell.
fight. We got CS grenades and
Yeah.
pepper balls and everything.
These dudes are fighting. Why are you throwing CS grenades in there? Figured eventually they'll stop, right?
Yeah.
No, that it didn't get used.
Okay.
That's why it was always in there. Like,
Yeah.
but I remember when we left, there was guys that were taking bags of the pepper balls
Yeah.
for the paintball guns. Like, dude, I'm gonna go use this in one of our matches. Like, picture that in a paintball match
Yeah.
out here in one of these fields. It's just getting
Getting wrecked in a pepper
CS
ball.
CS balls.
That's wild.
Who was
Yeah.
it that just unloaded a whole Mark 9 in a bathroom? Wasn't that during CCA or something?
Yeah, it was
In a
actually in
bathroom?
the process why IDOC and CCA were taking over.
We don't have to drop names, but wasn't there an...
Yeah, they'd go. I remember they walked in. It was JKL and ABC at the time.
Okay.
So at the time, ABC didn't have a bathroom, so they were using JKLs.
Got it.
Well, they kept using the bathroom and like blowing it up and just leaving it there, right? So these guys
All
were
the
getting
vending
pissed
machine
off.
food
So
and all this
JKL
stuff.
would
Oh.
go in there, staff would go in there. One of the guys went in there, broke off a Mark 9, emptied it in there, and just shut the door. Told everybody like, "Hey, use the bathroom before I go in there." Broke the Mark 9 off, left it in there.
Used it
And
as
then
a
the
grenade.
ABC guys come
Oh
over to
my
use the bathroom.
God.
Hey, we're on our way to use the bathroom. Walk in there. Hey, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Won't use our bathroom anymore.
Dude,
That's what that was all
Someone
over.
accidentally did that when I was working Unit 8 at the yard. I was still on the FTO program, and it wasn't like intentional in that way, but he had a Mark 9 and sat down to like take a shit or something and
broke
caught
them.
the handle on something,
Snapped it
and you just heard him scream. And I remember
Pants are down.
Yeah.
It's just filling up the.
I was like standing there, like, you guys ever been to the yard where Unit 8 is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know where the bathroom's at, like right outside of the pod control. I guess it's like, is it
That
right in
is
or
good
right?
to
the
know.
pod
Yeah,
control,
right in.
yes.
That's right. It's been a while since I've been there. I was like standing there waiting to get keys to the pass through right there, and I just heard like the like, scream. I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And then just like screaming, and then the
Dude
guy
comes
that
out
was,
orange.
yeah, the dude that was working the the control there was like gets up and like runs over, and I'm like, "What is happening?" And yeah, the dude comes out, he's coughing and sneezing, and I honestly don't remember who it was, but that was like probably my first month.
You remember for years it was like a stigma, like don't have a pin in your Mark 9.
Yeah.
Like nobody carried a pin. It was
Yeah.
like, you new guy,
You
take
never
that
carried
fucking
a
pin
pin.
out.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that
then they
was
finally had enough desktops.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people sitting down, and people would spray the phone on accident, and they would spray themselves. They were there on the phone, and then they forgot to spray the phone. And then somebody's like,
yeah.
"Oh shit, my face is on fire!"
Yeah. Yeah, those were good days. I don't know.
The good old days.
I know. I think back on it, like during the times, I'm like, I remember being so miserable at the prison. Just like working overtime, like signing up, coming early, staying late, all this stuff. I mean, like, dude, what am I doing here? But then now that I think back, and I remember I couldn't wait to leave, and then I left. But like now that years have passed, I think back, I'm like, dude, those are actually super fun times, especially like the
Yeah.
crew that I worked with, like not just like the G Block crew, but even like the Max crew, and then even like the guys like my FTO and that first group of guys I worked with in Unit 8, like we're super rad dudes, and we had like really fun times. And I don't know, I think back on it, I'm like, what's that from The Office where he's like, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you leave them or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think about that stuff because I'm like, yeah, you're miserable. I hear it a lot with like military guys too, like about, deployments and stuff. And,
I miss those days.
yeah. So it's like,
I just don't miss the politics. That was my issue at the prisons. Like, the people were great. The politics and the higher
that was
ups
my
were-
whole thing. It's like, dude, I like just mind, like the fact that downtown, I mean, it's administration and stuff. Like they carried so much weight though in what we did in our day-to-day stuff that I'm like, you should not be able to make a decision about what happens on a tier if you have never stepped foot in a prison, number one. Number two, if you haven't been there in 10 years either. Like,
Things change all the time.
come down, work the units with us, like walk the tiers, like figure out what you're trying to implement, like how it's going to affect the people that are, because I remember when I was working at Max, like stuff would come down, especially like right after the Norteño Sereno kickoff thing that happened. What was that, 2018 or something like that, 2019, when the big I guess race war or whatever you want to call it, where the dude got his face bashed in with the microwave. It started at Max, and then I heard ISCC popped off too. It was like all over the news and stuff.
Ours was the Serenos and the White Boys.
Yeah, AKs in the Serena.
Oh, okay, yeah.
2019 one.
Those were good days.
Oh shit.
Low battery.
I don't know. You guys can keep going.
Or
it's too hot.
Oh no.
Let's get
What do we do? We can keep talking.
Yeah, ours. It was never Norteños on
Yeah.
Serenos with us.
Because they always had beef.
It was.
Yeah, see, ours, like they did, especially at Max, they didn't. Like, I remember like leading up to that big kickoff, because we had like, what was it, like 9 people on tier 1 fighting, like 7 people in the rec yard fighting.
See, I never knew, because the Norteños and Serenos were at war regardless. They were always fight on site.
Yeah, see, not at Max. They were literally, they just sat on opposite sides of the yard. Like when they were out at like, outside rec and stuff, like they'd just be on opposite sides.
Oh, no, see that, that never would have worked with, over at ICC.
Not indeed.
That's so weird.
No.
You'd
So
have it out at, like when I was working rec, they would, just the medium custody guys, they just avoid each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but that's like they're medium custody. They're not.
Like they politic, but not really.
Yeah, they're not serious.
Yeah.
Politicking. It was like what always got me was it was always seemed to be Norteño on Norteño.
I did know.
Like they
yeah.
were constantly
beating
hitting
each other.
just
Up,
themselves.
Yeah.
It's like,
And they don't have numbers. So I'm like, what are you
no,
doing,
just
dude? Like,
constantly.
but dude, they were trying to recruit so hard. So like after all that stuff kicked off, they were trying to recruit so hard. And I remember, so after the big like Norteño Sereno kickoff, it was probably maybe a month later, month and a half, something like that, when they were bringing all the guys back from SEG from the big fights. And I'm not going to name names, but one of the Norteños, he came walking back. He had his property in his hands, and we're looking at the day room, and he's like waiting to go on. And mind you, like everyone's like preparing for this. Like the Norteños are coming back. Like, they're coming back in the unit. Like it's going to be all out war. Because at that time by that point, it was all out war. It was on site. It was, even the Serenos, like what they were talking about on the tiers, like they knew these dudes were coming back, and they were like all laced up, ready to go. We're bringing this dude back from SEG, and he's sitting at the door. He's got his arms full of all his belongings. He's in SEG stuff still, like the jumpsuit and the shower shoes and all this stuff. And he like looks at me. He's like, "Nations, can I ask you a favor?" And I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Can I just take a second and get my shoes on?" And I remember like looking back at my sergeant, and my sergeant at the time was the head of investigations, and he was like pissed that all this was happening. He was pissed because he was like, "Dude, it's gonna be like a 8-on-1 right now when we take this dude out, because they're like, we're not gonna sell them up. We're just gonna walk them out onto the tier, put them in the cell." And I'm like, that's not gonna be good,
Excellent idea.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, well, if they're going to fight, then they're going to go on lockdown." I'm like, they're going to fight, and you guys are going to have lawsuits up the yin-yang because you're walking these dudes out 1 versus 8, But I looked at the sergeant, and the sergeant was like, let him kid up.
Let him
So we told...
lace up his shoes,
Yeah, so-
tuck in his shirt.
Yeah, so Pod was like... I was like, "Hey, don't run the
At least
door."
he has a fighting chance.
Yeah, we're like, and the dude could scrap. Like, he could get down. You guys would know who he was more white than anything else.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Starts with a K.
He was our head down in
Yeah, he had the giant
Yep.
thing. Yeah. What?
Huh?
Heard you got out.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? But anyway, so he was sitting there. He's like, looks at me. He's like, "Nations, can I at least put my shoes on?" And so Sergeant was like, "Yeah, man." Like, and I was like, "Hey, Sarge, do you care if I carry his stuff?" And he even looked at me like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to help you out here." Like,
Just leave it outside. He's gonna
like-
come right back out.
yeah, but like it was all optics to them, right? They wanted to make it look like we were, And I'm like,
In
dude,
control.
Yeah, I'm like, dude,
we're never actually in control.
yeah. I'm like, dude, I'll carry your stuff because I don't want to get covered, and like I'll just carry it. So he's like, dude, you're a real one for that. So he laced up, and as we were about to pop the door, phone rings, and it's central control, like, hey, we're halting all movements. We're not, and I'm like, thank God,
Saved
dude.
for another day.
Yeah. And so I looked at the offender and I was like, hey, you're not going out there. And it was kind of weird. Like he had this like look of like, thank God. But on the other side, he was like, I don't want them to think I'm a bitch or something. Like I'm the one that,
He was the one that requested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll make sure, like, if anybody says anything, I'll make sure that they know that you weren't, the one that called it, because he was like ready to go. He was like stretching. He's like got his arm on the door, like stretching out his like, yeah. But I'm like, that's what administration was doing to people because they wanted to, think that they had control of this. And it's like, dude, like we have control, but we don't. Like in this situation, they're gonna fight. Like their politics outweigh your rules. They don't care, especially these max guys. Like they don't care,
That's how it was during the whole race war with the AKs and the Serenios. It was like, I remember the last fight that happened, we had like 4 of us out there on tier 1. We rolled the doors, we pulled we pulled the 2 Southsiders out, and the one guy goes to the phone. Like he's sitting there like he's on the phone. Like, dude, you're not talking to anybody.
White boy,
The white boy comes out, we get him on the wall, search him real quick, we shut the door, and we're like, all right, guys. And they just run at each other right in front of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I will give it to those because those 2 went at it. Like they were like, this is straight. That was like probably one of the best fights, and they got the book thrown at them too.
Did they really?
Sande just wrapped that dude's leg around a pole.
Oh my!
And it was the last fight, and I remember because when I went to A Block later that day to go drop off their stuff, and he's like, dude, really? We were the last fight. You guys couldn't have stopped it before then. Hey man, I don't make the politic calls.
Yeah, you didn't have to fight.
That was your guys' business, not mine.
That
They're
one
like,
dude
no, I
was
guess
like,
I'll never know.
dude, that guy was so funny. He'd look at his reflection, like a $1.20 soaking wet.
Yeah.
Just a big old mustache from Mexico. Just thought he was all that in a bag of shit. And I mean, he had the guts
small
for
South
it.
Sider we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides Garcia,
which might have been a Norteño.
I had wondered why that dude got beat up, but I actually remember after you said that on the other podcast, I remember it was something like that they thought that he.
Yeah.
Was it confirmed that he was?
And there was just rumors
that
came down. Yeah.
So I had heard that he had a weird charge, and they had heard about it.
Not that I know of. Hey.
What I heard was that he was hanging out with some people he should have been hanging out on the street, like the wrong gang or something that they were friends in the past.
And people found out about it, and that's all it took.
Isn't it crazy, like prison politics and the stuff that they...
Well, stuff they know and pull from outside the prison.
Yeah.
It's like somebody new's coming in. They know about it before we did.
Yeah.
And they knew who they were ganging up with on the outside.
Yeah.
And who they're trying to be with in the inside.
But do you think that's a, like dirty officers that are getting them that info? Like, how are these guys getting?
Too easy. I mean, all this stuff is like, let's be honest, all this stuff is up in line. You want to know anything about any inmate, I can find out about it right now. And if I was in prison, all I have to do is call baby mama on the street and say, hey girl, I need to know about XYZ.
Yeah.
Google this guy.
The other thing is too, like they
That's
can find
true.
out where we live so easy.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I can find out where you live. And I'm like, yeah, good luck, good job. You can
All
use
their stuff's
Google.
Public record.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember I told him, I was like, well, if I see you on the outs, just know I got a gun on me and I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say that to me. I'm like, well, I mean,
I did.
Don't threaten me with
Yeah.
telling you're going to come
I was like,
where
it's
my
between
family
your
is.
life
Yeah.
or my family and my life. It's your life's gonna be gone, but so.
Yeah.
I remember there was this one, I can't remember his name, but he always said, like, my family is a cop or full of cops and everything. They could find out who you are and everything.
I'm like, I wouldn't brag about that, dude.
And,
I know,
and
right?
then, yeah, he was on a PC walk. So.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That totally checks out.
All right.
But he was like, he was such a shitbag, man. But he was the one who was like, I'll find out where you live. And I was like, and I'll fucking kill you. So,
Yeah.
Don't come around.
like-
Start business.
you come in my house, Alexa starts playing Welcome to the Jungle. So,
Yeah.
Don't even knock. Just walk right in. It's going to
Yeah.
end the same way.
Lights
don't
go
know.
out. Strobe light comes on.
Yeah.
it was
Both
always,
sides flying.
Let's go.
it was always crazy when you did find out about, like, COs that got compromised, though. You're like, oh my gosh. Like that one chick while we were working there that
With
she
the
gets
nudes?
compromised.
Or the one down in G Block.
The one in G Block that got
Oh, yeah.
compromised got fired, went picked him up from prison, and then that night was
she
on.
picked him up.
And then
I
she
remember
got
that
beat
now.
up.
That night she got
Yep.
beat up by him for
Yeah.
domestic
Yeah,
violence.
No way.
Oh yeah. So yeah, she
Immediately.
gave her whole thing. She was going in, taking nudes of herself.
She was on
in-
Graveyard.
Yeah, in the bathroom. She was did the same. What was that job that I had where you check was in charge of the outgoing messages?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
JPay.
Yeah, JPay.
Yeah.
So she was doing JPay too. So she'd take nudes, send them to him, go back in on the computer, get
Clear
on her
'em,
JPay
yeah.
account, approve them, so that nobody was the wiser. I guess I'm sure somebody was checking up on
Well,
us.
investigations
like,
has full access to that too.
So she was doing that, and then she got busted, got fired. I remember she was on Ada County.
Mm-hmm.
And then got off Ada County. He finally got out. And next thing you know, like the day that he got out, he was on Ada County the next day for
beating her up.
domestic violence.
And dude got her name tattooed on him.
Yeah.
While he was in.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
She was that one. I just don't get it.
Every girl that was in my academy ended up compromised. There's one that ended up marrying one of the inmates. I think I'm still friends with her on
That's full
Instagram.
commitment.
What?
That's full commitment.
Yeah. Which
So it's
she
good
was
to
actually
ask you.
she was married to a CO. They divorced.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
She was on CERT too.
I think
She ended
so.
up pregnant by him.
I think so.
Oh yeah, I found out she ended up cleaning my house when I sold it last time.
Did she do a good job?
Yeah, she did great. Started
he
with a
come
Z or
over?
something, right? The last name?
That I don't know. I don't remember the name.
It was a Mexican name though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
we're talking about two different people.
The one that I'm talking about was Hispanic. She
Oh.
was on CERT.
Yeah,
She
still
was
on
married
CERT,
at the
yeah,
time
yeah.
when she cheated.
No, so this
It was over at IMSI though.
yeah, so we worked at IMSI. She was married to a guy that worked at IMSI. Super solid dude.
Bless her heart.
Yeah. They got divorced. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe because he caught her with this inmate. I don't know.
She sounds like a sweet girl.
Dude, I was actually I would say
Started
friendly
having
with
some
her.
weird role play fetishes.
Well, so she would work graveyard. She'd be
Yes,
like all
officer.
over. She'd be like all over, like she'd be like wanting to go do tear checks all the time. And like once I found out that she'd gotten compromised and fired, like all the stuff that I remember seeing, I'm like, oh
Started
my
making
god,
sense,
dude,
like,
yeah.
That's what she was
Signs.
doing.
Yeah.
Signs,
Yeah.
I didn't
But I'm like,
notice 'em.
she was married to he worked central control at the time. Like she was married to him. Like nothing in my brain was like she's cheating on this guy with an inmate.
I don't
you
even
what
know
I
if
mean?
it's the signs or you just don't want to believe that was happening. Like you want to
Yeah.
see that, hey, they're an officer. They're doing the same thing I am. That
Yeah.
there's no way they would do this, right?
And she was super cool. I mean, like I said, she was in my academy, and I think she was one or two of the people that like we kind of went through the FTO program together and stuff, the same institutions, and I mean, she was pretty cool. But it's kind of wild. I can't remember her maiden name. I don't know if I should say it if I do remember it.
I'll leave that one out.
Yeah, we'll make my editing the best. Just
Yeah.
leave that out.
I can tell you guys off camera, but yeah, it's crazy that she did that. And then the Mexican, yes, she was one of the other ones. Now that I'm thinking about it, she was on CERT. And then there's a third one. I can't remember her name, but she
There's
was
more than
compromised.
3.
No, I'm saying the 3 from my academy or that I knew of.
I remember the one down in West Wing in ISCC with
Oh,
her names
BH?
were, huh?
Or her Big Hungry?
Oh no, not her. Oh, I forgot about her. Man, I forgot about Big Hungry. Hungry girl. I'm talking about another one that started with a B.
I forgot about her too.
Oh, Big Hungry.
I remember you talking
I
about
remember
it.
she got so mad. They're like, I just found out people are calling me Big Hungry.
What did you think they were calling you? Little Hungry?
I just don't understand like what possesses them to do that. Like it doesn't
The
make,
need for
Attention.
yeah.
I mean, I guess it falls into the same lines as like people bringing stuff in for them. Like, I mean, obviously it's looked at. I think, I don't know, maybe just in my eyes, it's looked at a little bit worse than like bringing stuff in for people. I don't know, but You know what I mean? Like I guess it falls in the same line as like bringing stuff in for inmates.
I mean, a lot of those inmates were good talkers. I mean, they had
yeah.
nothing else.
I mean, I almost slept
like
with
they
one of them
always
at
said,
the
they
time.
have nothing else better to do.
Yeah.
And when you have nothing else better to do, you find ways to pass your time.
Dude, I remember when I was working graveyards at IMSI, they gave a lot of the overnight guys and girls access to JPay to be able, because we were like running so far behind on it. And so a lot of the graveyard people got access. And so I was one of the people they gave access to. And I remember sitting on JPay and like, dude, like one guy would be talking to like 25 different girls and he would just send all the same message and just change the names and stuff. And I'm like, oh my, and these girls, the stuff that these girls would send in that I'd have to deny and stuff. I'm like, the amount of, some of the stuff that they try to send in.
Some of the stuff being sent out.
Or that too, where I'm like, dude, how did you get that?
In the middle of the tier.
Yeah, I'm like, how did you get that?
Oh, once they got the video stuff?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
dude's got his pants down in the middle of the tier, and you're just like,
Yeah,
and you're just watching people in the background just walking by, and you're just like,
crazy. Well, dude, now they're like ending up on social media. I don't know if you've seen that, like
yeah.
on TikTok
yeah.
and stuff.
Instagram.
Yeah.
it's like,
Idaho JPay.
hey, hit me up.
Yeah. And when I'll see
Oh
these
my
people, like,
gosh.
there's a TikTok page that I follow, and it's like Idaho incarcerated or something. And do like half the dudes that are on there, I'm like, I know that dude. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that dude's got a wife and kids, and
why
he's
do you
out there.
follow that page?
Why not?
Oh, it's fun, dude.
classic, dude.
Hilarious.
You ever look at the JPay one on TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The
If you ever get
TikTok.
bored, just go to the JPay
It's
on
so
iTalk
fun.
So
or
funny.
TikTok. Sheesh.
Dude, the stuff and these like smooth talkers and stuff that they say to each other, I'm like, oh my God. And then the girls in the comments that are like,
Yeah.
I let you beat me up and all this stuff. Like,
Yeah, or
crazy.
the gay dudes in the
Yes,
comments.
yeah. Like, I let him turn me out. You're like, oh my God.
You get the bears
Yeah.
commenting.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe you
Okay,
don't
no,
go.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh my
I'm
God,
gonna do
it's
that while
so
we're-
good, dude. Yeah, it's solid stuff.
And it's people you'll recognize too. It's funny.
I would say probably half of them
know a
you'll
bunch of them.
recognize.
Yeah, you'll know a bunch of them.
Yeah.
See Sieber on there, I could see that.
Oh God.
I don't know if you're smart enough to know how to use that.
Whatever happened to that guy?
He's perma-fried. That's what happened.
Is he?
Way too much meth.
Yeah.
Last I heard, he had to go back out to. He went to Ontario or something. Ontario prison.
Yeah, so I thought he got moved out of IDOC.
It's fantastic.
That's great. Yeah.
Oh God, dude. All right, well, let's get into some. I don't know. Some,
Yeah, you started out. You were the first one in G Block or DEF. Then, what were some of the stuff that you did? What was some of the fun shit that you can talk about without getting sued?
Yeah.
Just
no,
kidding.
well,
that's
when,
the trick.
when did you
there.
leave?
End of 2019. I think. is
Oh
when
yeah, so right when I
got
did.
out.
So that's
Yeah.
statute of limitations. We're good. You can talk about it.
Well, you left IDOC then, but when did you leave DEF?
Oh, that was.
That was like 2016, 17.
15, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was 13, 14, 15. Yeah.
So do you remember your crew that you worked with?
Oh yeah, just the greatest guys. That's like the crew you work with
Makes or
is, like,
breaks.
makes it.
It's
and we
so
were
true.
we were all military,
Yeah.
so we had 2 Marines guys, 2 Army guys, me, Air Force. The other shift had a couple Air Force guys, and so it's just the constant
Yeah.
military shit talk on top of it. But you know everybody's got your back.
Yeah.
And the guys you work with really like made that job. And
Yeah.
it was probably the most fun I've had working
Yeah.
is that first like 2 years with those guys because
That's
they just
cool.
made it great. But yeah, like right when I started, camera's cutting out again. No, but
This whole episode's just me, you, and I.
I know. Gosh, this thing.
No, but right when I started, so I was on the FTO, and that was like right when we took over from the private, and we were doing rundowns on the tiers. And so
Okay.
we had shift command in there on one tier, along with everybody from investigations, and then all the officers except pod control, and we're just running through cells, pulling out tattoo guns, needles, drugs, cell
All the stuff.
phones, just everything. They had everything. And so we're going through, and then we had the case managers. They were escorting a new hire case manager around,
Mm-hmm.
and we had one of our case managers call kitty corner. So on 2, we were all on 6. On 2, some dude was just getting wrecked on. And there was a pool of blood around him.
Yeah.
That was twice the size of his body. It was
Oh, no.
The way he survived that was wild. But yeah, everybody was focused on us.
Yeah.
Because we're doing this whole rundown.
Yeah.
Pod Control's just stared at us because we got command staff in there. And
Yeah.
she wants to be on top of it.
Making sure every door's opening immediately.
Right
Yeah.
when you need it. It has to be there. All of investigations is there. And like, we had one of the case managers like, hey, we need officers in here now. And he was standing outside the door. Yeah, the dude had got stabbed like 16 times, his face unrecognizable.
Oh, my God.
But we went back and watched the cameras, and it was like 5 minutes of him just getting the shit beat
Just
out of
worked.
him. And then the dude, tired out,
Yeah.
and walked away and went and got on the phone. Was on the phone for a minute or so, and then went back and started kicking him in the
Sounds
head
like
again.
Garcia.
It was like,
Yeah.
similar to
Yeah.
that. It was like that was like my first week, my introduction, and it's like
That's a brutal
this
start, dude.
It's wild in here.
Get it knocked out of the way.
Yeah.
And then that first year, just in G Block DEF, we had run through in like 5 months the entire budgeted OC for all of IDOC
Oh my
for the
God.
whole year.
Yeah.
And we had run through it in 5 months. Just constantly. We get there at 6 a.m. And 30 minutes later, when tears start rolling
Yeah.
for rec, running around, and you're just covered in OC.
You're like,
from
dude, it's too
the
early for
first
this.
30 minutes, and you're just covered in it for the whole rest of the shit.
was a good way to
Arms
wake
are
up.
burning.
Yeah.
You touch your hat with OC, you adjust it, whatever, and then you go wash up. Everything's fine. And then
Yeah.
an hour later, you adjust your hat and then rub your eyes. Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
my eyes burning
Dude.
again.
Or the bathroom. I did that a couple times.
Oh, I
Yeah.
never
Just
made that
constantly,
mistake.
like-
Yeah.
but you're just constantly in it, and yeah, we ran through all the OC, and they came and investigated us
Because of how much
because
OC.
of how much OC, and so we had command staff coming in from other prisons
Oh, did you
just
do
to
their own
watch
audits and
and
stuff?
just like do an audit on us, and like, yep, I mean, when they're fighting, we're spraying, we're
That's
not using it excessively. We're like,
But that's my issue. So
Define
on
excessive.
that point though,
Yeah.
like that's crazy that they start an investigation to you guys when it's like, how about you guys take some accountability that these fights are happening because of what administration is
decisions.
doing
yeah.
and the decisions you're making. I'm having to respond to them, and you're gonna investigate me. Like, make that make sense.
Oh, I feel
That's
like
probably
that
when they
was
started putting
constant.
restitution on it. So, like, we need to get
Yeah.
some of this money back.
Yeah,
'cause
Probably.
you
I
guys are-
remember that.
I forgot about restitution. Yeah.
It was like
you,
you-
same
you
thing for the drug test. You
you
failed
s-
the drug test, you had to pay restitution.
Yeah. Some
spray
dude's
it,
like, I'm
dude.
indigent. I don't care.
You spray a dude and he's has to get burnt and everything, and now he's gonna get burnt again when he gets
Yeah.
the restitution bill of
Yeah.
all that OC.
Yeah. Wasn't it like $70 or something for a bottle? I
For
remember.
a whole bottle
Yeah.
on a 9,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Like that's
So
dude, you get
mean.
cooked and you got to pay for it. Like that sucks. That's like going to a hooker and getting like AIDS or something.
What was
Like,
it? What was it like when you were over at Max?
in what's just in
You
general?
said you guys were getting a lot of OC. You were
Yeah.
getting sprayed by other officers too.
Dude, so it was a very and I don't remember if G Block had the fans like in the corners of the tiers, like the big like 4-foot like metal fans. Did we have those? I don't remember. It kind of blurs when I think about the two
No,
different.
Our vent fans were in the ceiling.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So,
just in the ceiling.
At Max, you had fans like big, like I don't know, 3-foot, 4-foot metal fans that were on the tiers, like on the wall. So you would like hit a switch and turn them on. Well, the issue is you had one pointing at the door, and then you had one pointing the other direction, so opposite walls. So it theoretically would cycle air, right? Well, the issue is fights would happen out in the day room, and officers would come in and they would get super like spray happy. Come through the door and start spraying. Well, that fan's on
Just blowing it straight
and
back
just
at
blows
you.
everything. Yeah. So we'd all be stacked on the door, and if somebody was like newer, like we had to be like, hey, like when we go in, peel out before you spray. Like don't just come in and start dousing. So even if I don't care if they're fighting 5 feet in front of the door, as soon as that door pops, we're going to come in and we're going to go around and then spray back at the door. You know, they're already fighting. Let them
That
hit each
wouldn't have
other.
been me. I love OC. I'd just spray it right walking
Dude,
in the door.
The amount of
Everybody's
times
gonna get it.
I got sprayed, like I'd be like the second or third man in the stack, the door would pop and the person would still just, as soon as that door pops, they're all, I'm like, oh, and like, it was more frequent than I'd care to admit. I said in the other podcast that we had a dude that he couldn't handle OC to save his life. So they literally
Prohaska.
no, worse than Prohaska. Like this dude, you could have sprayed in another unit and he'd be like and start coughing. I don't know how we got through post, but they actually issued him a gas mask because he was such a liability. Yeah, and like they didn't, especially at Max, you know, it's such a small institution. Aside from like working out in like, was it E Block, E and G, which is like there's like a dog unit out there and some other stuff. Any of the other units, like there was going to be fights. Like didn't matter what. I mean, obviously A Block had the majority of the fights and all the crap, but like any of the units you had stuff. So they couldn't really put him anywhere where he wasn't going to deal with OC. So they're like, well, we're just gonna give you a gas mask. So like he was the only one walking around with like his big old gas mask on the side of his leg, because anytime OC or a fight would kick off, he would be donning his mask.
That's the point. There's like, what is even? You're not even worth having. Like,
and from what I understand, like, because I did think that, like, I'm not gonna say his name. Like I said, I'll say it off camera, but from what I understand, he's actually turned into a good officer after, you know, you think after a decade of being out there. But I'm surprised. And I think it was because we were so low staffed for so many years that they just were like, dude, you got 2 thumbs and a heartbeat. We're keeping you, you know?
Thumbs optional.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's optional.
Seriously. But like, from what I understand, I think he did end up, I actually think he ended up on cert, or at least tried out for cert. So I've got to ask you this off camera. I'm like 99% sure he either made it or tried to make it. But anyways, yeah, dude, Max was a different breed. I remember going from the yard to Max and hearing all the stories. And the thing I did like about Max is it was super tight knit. Like everyone had each other's backs. Like there was no BS, even in between shifts. Like everybody was super tight. Everyone had each other's backs. Like no one, for the most part, nobody talks shit. I mean, you've got your outsiders anywhere you go, right? But for the most part, like nobody talks shit. Everyone had each other's backs. And that's what I really liked about Max was you knew everyone had you. Like there's no question, you know? The other side of that is when you do something, it makes its rounds really quick, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. But when I worked in A Block on swing shift, that was probably like my best crew. I think that, like you were saying at the beginning, like that was like my solid crew. I had Rogers in that unit. Do you remember Ankenbrandt? Was she still on cert?
Mm-mm.
She might have already left, but no, because she's, I think, either a corporal or a sergeant now at I don't know what facility. Sergeant Novotny was the sergeant. It was just a really, really good crew. That was, like I said, when the whole Norteño Sereno thing kicked off. Like I was sitting in the pod control when that dude's head got bashed in by the microwave. I'm just sitting there. We literally just let out wreck. I'm sitting there eating lunch. It took like my third bite. And next thing you know, I see a microwave go flying. Because you know, at Max, so at ICC, you're on the floor looking up, right? At Max, you're on the second tier looking down, or second floor looking down. So I literally sit down. It's like my third bite. And I just see out of the corner of my eye. And Jake's like, "Did you see that?" And like I stand up. I'm like, "Oh, shit. We got to fight on tier 1. So like I run over to the control, because the person I was running control was like brand new, or relatively new. So I run over and I'm like, "Hey, let me help you out." So I get on the radio, call it, "Hey, we got to fight on tier 1." And that's all I called originally. Well, then I hit the buttons to look at the camera so I can get the response teams in. And that's when you press one camera, it showed like the rec yard and like some other stuff, and they're fighting on all of them. And I'm like, "Oh my God." So I get back on the radio. I'm like, break. We need everybody. Like there's fights on, here, there, like everything. I was like, send everybody. I was like, I need lethal. I need less lethal. I need, all this stuff. And I think it was the deputy warden. I think it was deputy warden. Like got on and was like, "What authorization do you have to call for lethal and less lethal?" I'm like, look at your cameras. Like, dude, like these dudes. And so they're all like, it was obviously planned. So they all had t-shirts tied around their face. They had sunglasses on. It was like, they had gloves on, the whole 9 yards. Well, come to find out, they had blocked all the, what are they called? Not the sally ports, so the
Fire doors.
yeah, but you know the little rectangles that flip down.
Oh,
The
bean
ports.
ports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I couldn't think of that.
Food port.
So they had blocked all those, so we couldn't open those. They had wedged stuff into all the doors, so we couldn't open. Like, I mean, we could open them, but when you pop the door, you like had to push on it hard. So they had prepped this. So actually, when we went back and watched all the camera footage, like these dudes were out there like prepping, just like right under our nose. You know, like they just look like they're walking around, but every time they walk around, they would take something, jam it in, you know, that part, and then they would do another lap, and then it all kicked off. You saw two dudes talking at the fire door between Tier 1 and the rec yard. They're talking. Next thing you know, they do the, you know, on the door and walk out. And
It was
10
on
seconds
The
later.
sign set it off.
Yeah, but then like that dude, so like I see the microwave go flying and I stand up and I call it. Well, I go to like walk over. I grab the radio, like walk over. And the dude starts beating him with the microwave. Like picking it up and slamming it, picking it up, slamming it. Well, then the door, like the microwave finally breaks and gives way. Well, then all he's got left is the door handle with the door on it. And he just like looks at it and starts beating the dude with the door handle. I'm like, oh my God. So I was on the response team. So I was like, oh shit, I got to go. So like I, you know, gear up, get downstairs. But we had that thing like handled. It was like under 5 minutes. I forgot what the actual like timing was on it, but it was really good response on how we got that handled. But again, going back to just like that crew, not only did, you know, the Alpha and Bravo response team that showed up that day, they handled business, but like our unit team, I feel like worked better than like the, you know, the response teams when, you know, CERT got activated, all this stuff. Like I feel like it was that camaraderie that we had. Like everybody knew where each other was going. It was just a really solid team. And then I just got, I think it was like 13 days or something in a row that I went home covering an OC because of this riot thing. I got to go back through all the stuff because it was like a lot. And that's kind of when I was like, dude, I'm done. Like I'm done working max. Like I'm so sick of roll-ups. I'm so sick of being covered in OC. Like my wife was tired of it.
Roll-ups.
Yeah, dude.
Being covered in OC.
Yeah, honestly, I got used to the OC, but the roll-ups were just like, especially you get done with like a big fight, and especially if it's at the end of your day.
Yes.
And then you're like, great, now I got to spend several more hours just sitting here doing roll-ups and paperwork. And then I'm speaking for myself, but you're like, you know, I'm so tired of this dude's stuff. Oh, some of this stuff went missing. Oops. Just
for
you're
sure.
so pissed off.
No,
Or you
100%.
leave their OCs or their OC clothes.
Oh, yeah.
in the
And mix it in
roll-up.
with
the
everything
box.
else.
If I
like,
didn't, dude, if I
just
didn't
leave
like
it
the
in there.
inmate, 100%, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care. But it's
It
like, I would get pissed because I'm like, dude, like you guys are the ones that, because they would get mad about it. You put my OC stuff. It's like you're the one that chose to fight,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Like
at the end of end
Yeah.
of my shift.
you couldn't have done this at 4 o'clock. Like, come
Or
on,
they have
dude.
like wet clothes in their
Oh,
laundry
yeah.
buckets, and you just put it in a
Yep,
bag and
yep.
put it in
Yep.
the property. And then they
Dude.
do like a
yeah,
week or
if
two
you're
later.
gonna fight, do it at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Like and that's what pissed me off about all that. But no, like I said, I really enjoyed Max. I like I said, the crew was really good. Our warden was really good. Our deputy warden was really cool. My shift command was awesome. It was Lieutenant Overguard. Was
Man.
what?
I know.
Yeah, I don't think he's there anymore, but
Overguard was cool.
yeah, he was a really solid dude. I don't know what happened with that whole thing. I kind of have an idea, but regardless, that dude had my back. He was a solid guy. In my eyes, he couldn't do wrong. I mean, whatever he did, but there's probably reasoning behind it. And again, it's politics, whatever. So I really liked him, but yeah, I really liked Max, but I just got tired of the roll-ups. I got tired of the fights. I got tired of the stuff. And I was like, you know what? I need a change. So I started getting bitter. They actually told me to stop coming to shift briefings in the morning because I was just like, I just didn't care. You know, I was like, they would be like, okay, well, we're going to go do this and this. I'm like, that's dumb.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. They're like, okay, nations, why?
Exactly. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
The good idea fairies are back in town.
Yeah. And it was like always after big fights or whatever, you know, and they're like, hey, if you want to get promoted, you got to stop coming to morning briefings. And I'm like, that's crazy that you guys said that to me. And they're like, well, you just, you're just saying,
Debbie Downer.
yeah, you're saying too much. And I'm like, oh, because I'm
Downer.
telling the truth. I'm like, they're not the ones that are out here, getting assaulted and having the issue, having to do all this stuff. Like, I'm the one, me and our crew are the ones out here dealing with all the fights. Like, I'm tired of it.
And you just come behind and side chair quarterback.
Yeah, armchair quarterback us, yeah.
What we did or how we could have done it better.
When that was
You weren't there.
that was the whole thing, and then they would sit there and pick apart your response, and it's like, dude, not only have I worked 312s back to back to back, I'm on overtime, like I'm tired, but they would want to hold you accountable for things you said or did. Like I remember one time I told an inmate to shut the fuck up, and they're like, you can't talk to him like that. I'm like, he just stomped a dude's face in, like.
But I got to be politically
yeah,
correct.
I've got to be kind. Well, it's not your job to, and I'm like, it's not my job, but you know what? He's sitting there bitching that he needs to get deconned. I've got 30 minutes to decon him. It's 12 minutes in. Shut the fuck up. Like,
This dude's missing half his head.
yeah, I'm like,
Stomped
exactly.
in.
We're having a medical emergency, and you're
Sir,
gonna.
please get down on the ground.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes, please listen.
That was always funny. There's like when you write your reports and they're like, I directed everybody to get to the ground. I said, everybody down on the floor.
and they know when they're reading that. Like,
There's no audio,
Yeah.
but like,
Oh,
it's
I always put I assisted them to the floor.
Yep.
That knows.
Yep.
Oh, I
Yeah,
remember
suplex.
I wrote
Yeah.
one time that, and I got in trouble on this whole thing. But he's like, there was two dudes that were fighting each other on the top tier. Remember, it was like on a Saturday, and it was on tier 2, and they're fighting up in like cell 32. Right as they're going away
in
for
the
the
cell.
day. No, it was like outside. They're putting their
Oh.
stuff back in. We're like, it's time to sell up, whatever. They start going at it. I run up the stairs. I dodge in between and out all these dudes, and then I just tackle them. And then, and so they, I wrote it, and I was like, I assisted them down to the ground. What I said it like really, and the lieutenant's like,
Really plain.
no, you need to rewrite this. Say you tackled him.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, that's not professional,
yeah.
sir.
And then they talked to me too, because they're like, you should have just sprayed them from the ground up. And then it was really dangerous how you went in and out of everybody. And I was like,
let's
well,
spray
it was
from the
like,
down up.
I was like,
and
one,
keep
I
the rest
knew
of
who
it.
was out. It
Yeah.
was like PC walks. And then
What goes
two,
down- what goes up comes
I'm
down.
gonna spray with. I only had a fogger. They took away our streamers for the Mark 9s. I don't know why, but
Because I messed up.
A little too close.
Yeah.
and then I was like, so if I would have sprayed from the floor down or up, it would have been all fogged, and then anybody coming in to help would just be contaminated right away.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you shouldn't do that. I was like, well, I wouldn't do it differently.
I remember when they took our streamers. That was an oops on my part. It was right when the race war had kicked off.
I preferred the streamers, dude. I could
love
like
the
snipe them.
Oh yeah,
dude. I'm
Sande
like,
always had the streamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I carried. Everybody
Yeah.
liked foggers. No, I want to be able to pinpoint exact where I want to hit you.
Yeah.
You
I
go you go switch out people's chits and then go on the tier. Hey, I need your Mark 9.
I do remember you
That's
doing
fine.
that.
You
Yeah.
have the wrong one.
But
Yeah.
I
Yours
remember,
shits
I
on
still
this.
Yeah.
remember the race war had kicked off on, I think, tier 4. But the big fight that was really going was on tier 1.
Yeah.
The naked dude.
Yeah, and we had just brought all these guys over from IMSI
Yeah.
and tossed them on one. It was an absolute shit show. I really want to high five someone in the face, whoever decided to do that. But we're sitting there, and we knew the fight was going to happen. Like, someone called it and they said, dude, it's just, there's something just not,
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
Walton
right
was on the
there.
tier.
Yeah, and he comes off, he's like, dude, they're all like super laced up tight, all the white boys, and we're like, let's fly here for a second. So we're just standing there right outside the tier door. Sure enough, all the white boys are over here, and the Mexicans, the Southsiders, are just sitting there walking and talking. And all of a sudden, the white boys just start going this way when the Southsiders
Yeah.
come this way. Like, here it goes. Sure enough, start fighting. So I ran in the door, and me and someone else hit the first guys, but I was like here to here with that Mark 9.
Yeah.
It was like a
Fired.
triple burst.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there was
on one
3 of us,
dude.
and we just hit these two
One
guys.
person.
Yeah,
As he's
hit
like
these two
falling
guys.
towards you too.
Yeah.
He's like, help.
Three Mark 9s. He just gets lit up. Well,
Yeah.
little did I know that I actually caused permanent damage to his eyes from being that close
Well,
with
don't
that.
fight.
Again, it is what it is, and
Yeah.
that's what I remember telling him that down in medical. Like, he's like, "Hey, I got permanent eye damage. Sucks to suck."
Yeah.
What do you want to tell me? Stop
Yeah.
fucking up. It won't happen. You came to prison. I didn't tell you to come
Yeah.
here. So
You fell towards me.
You sprayed like 4 dudes in that one run, dude. You're like,
Yeah.
I
I
mentioned
went-
you in that podcast I was just on. I was like, and then Super Soaker. We called him
Dude,
Super
you were
Soaker.
really
This dude's
good.
Like, he's like a sniper with it, and then you sprayed that dude from the taint up to the face that comes out.
Yeah.
I remember
He came
Garcia.
out the
I
shower.
came running
Yeah.
through, so I blasted those guys in the
Dude,
front.
he was
Came
probably
over,
cooking,
sprayed
too.
these guys. Came over this way, sprayed them, and then Garcia comes out running, and he's swinging like this. And I was like, "What this
Naked.
dude's swinging at?" So I just lift up and just drenched him head to toe. And he's still coming out swinging. He slips on the OC,
Which is so slippery, by the
falls
way.
to the ground. And
Yeah, he was
this
butt naked.
was bad. But I
Yeah.
remember watching this on camera. I went to go spray another dude that was coming at him. So I go to spray him, but I pressed it too early and it sprayed him right up the ass.
Oh, no.
Right up there, because he had fallen on the ground. Right up the ass into this dude's face. And Garcia stands back up and then gets kicked in the chest. But this
So
dude that
ass
was
in the
like,
mouth with OC,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
And then when Prohaska came in, he got like the 3-way blast. He got like the
Yep.
third party.
Yeah.
So he's blind. And then Garcia's on the floor and he's gives it another. Remember we called him Bird Box for the whole year? Because he was.
That movie had just come out.
And we
Bird Box.
we
Yeah.
had all those pictures up on the wall, and we replaced his with that Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Just couldn't see anything.
And it was so true because, yeah, the fight was like, it was all done, but Press comes in here and he's just like this. What are you spraying at?
do I miss Prohaska, dude? I haven't seen him or
Oh,
talked to him in
God,
so
that
long.
was- I miss those days. I should say I miss and I don't miss it because, like you said, the OC I wasn't bothered by anymore. I was so used to OC.
There was
by
a time
then
where you
that-
just kind of get used to it, right? Like,
yeah. The only thing that really got me was the stupid roll ups. And again, that fight, you had like 7 guys, and that wasn't even my worst one, but those 7 guys trying to do all those roll ups at the end of the shift. You're
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, get done. And then you're trying to explain these guys when all their stuff is missing. Like, you expect me to care.
Yeah.
You did this, and I
Dude,
get it.
the
I'm
kites
supposed
you
to,
would
I'm,
get,
I'm
it's like-
supposed to be professional. I'm supposed to be kind, but
Yeah.
in the gist of things, in the end, it's like I'm trying to get all this stuff done. I've got 10 dudes worth of property.
Yeah.
They're in all sorts of different cells, so you're trying to not mix up there and their buddies, knowing that this guy's probably going to go to max. This guy's going to go
Yeah.
to the yard to unit 8. This guy's going to go
Yeah.
wherever he goes. And then these guys, next thing you know, you're getting all these grievances like, hey, you lost my property. No, you lost your property when you decided to do what you did.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry that I didn't know exactly who owns what. And I
Yep.
couldn't ask you guys, well, why couldn't you come and ask the same? Like, do you know how long that would take to go to each individual cell? Like, hey, so I've got this pair of shorts. Are these yours or his? Okay,
Yeah.
what about these pair of socks? I don't have time for that, man.
Yeah.
So, like, it is what it is. And
Dude, whatever's blown has been blown in my eye this whole time. Is that what that is? Yeah. Like my left eye is like all dry. Like I keep pulling at it because I'm like, I think I'll be fine. If I keep my head back, I'm good. But it like,
Is it getting you right here?
I don't know if it's like bouncing off the wall and get me, but I just feel like a constant like right in my eye right here.
The whispering eye.
Yeah.
you mentioned that big fight that we had. And I remember Sidwell was working pod control that day. The
Oh, the
5-6
5-6.
fight.
The
Yeah.
fire door.
And I
So
just
I
happened
came
to
in
be,
early
I was
that
doing
day.
pill call on 5, and I was just, everything was normal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, I hear like a door roll. And I told this to investigations, like, I don't know what happened, but that door rolled by itself because there was too many people up there. It's not like he just rolled it. Everybody was up there.
Yeah.
They would have heard it too. But I hear the door roll down there. I was like, I remember getting on the radio. I was like, hey, when you guys roll a door down here? Like, no. And I was like, sketch out because I have a hard walk out.
Yeah.
I have the soft walk. So I was like, please don't say like a. So I'm
Yeah.
just walking. I'm checking all the doors, nothing. And then I hear a pop. And I was like, oh shit. And I look down and the fire door's open and all the Serenios are running through this fire door. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
So I immediately just get on my radio. I was like, I need assistance on the tier now. And I told the people call day, I was like, you're on your own.
yeah.
There was nobody left on the tier except for
Locked it
like
up.
2 white boys. So I just ran straight down the stairs.
You just called for the 5-6 fire door.
Yeah.
Rear.
And as I'm running to the 5-6 fire door, you got this Southsider holding it just like this. He's like, one eye looking this way, one eye looking that way. And he's
They
holding
really
the
let
door. And
anybody
I
in,
was like,
dude.
I was getting ready to go through it. And he goes just like that. And the door shuts in my face. I was like, you piece of shit. 5-6 fire door. I need staff on 6. So the door opened right away. And I didn't think. I never thought, I didn't ever think in those situations. Like, I just thought, this is my job.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Same thing when I was in the military.
I'm the same
in
way.
there.
Like it never, like I never,
Get there.
Yeah, you
Fight or
didn't
flight.
process it
Yeah.
at that time. Yeah, fight or flight. So it's fight. So I go flying through this door, and the one Mexican that had been holding the door, his little ass goes right back through the door and shuts the door behind him.
Oh, what a pussy.
Yeah.
He's like,
So
thanks.
I remember the first thing I saw these two white boys right here to my left. And I was like, I remember I pulled OC and I started spraying, and there's fights everywhere.
Yeah.
And I can hear just pounding, and it's just ringing in my ears because the doors are all, I had all the Northsiders on the bottom tier, and they're just kicking the doors because they want to get out there to his buddies.
Yeah.
One guy that you were talking about
Yeah.
starts with a K. And I just start spraying as many people as I can, and I'm calling for it, and I can hear Hoke's big ass yanking on the door, trying to get in, but the screen had froze or whatever. I don't know exactly what happened with that, but they couldn't get in.
Oh, so
I'm
Hope
stuck on
couldn't
the
get
tier.
in?
No, I was stuck on the tier by myself. None of the doors would roll.
Oh my God.
Well, I had to open up the control door to get everybody out because
Yeah.
everybody's out of control. We were
Yeah.
watching something on the screen, and then I had to, switch back over. And I mean, it
Yeah.
might to him it might seem like it was a long ass time, but to
It's
get
probably like
to
15
switch
seconds.
screens,
Dude,
yeah.
it felt like it was. I felt like I was in there, like on a deserted island by myself. And
You
I'm
emptied
like,
your whole Mark 9 and Mark 4.
I emptied
Yeah,
the Mark
probably in the
9,
first 30 seconds.
and then I
though.
looked over at the two white boys, and I was like, "Get on the ground." They're like, "We're not even part of this." And I was like, sprayed them both. I didn't want your opinion. I wanted you to
Yeah.
do as I asked. You didn't do as I asked. I sprayed you.
Yeah.
I remember they talked to me and said, "They're like, dude, we didn't even do anything. I told you to get on the ground.
Yeah.
You didn't listen. You're right. You didn't do anything. You didn't listen."
Yeah.
That was the only time we ever used those zip cuffs. We had
Yeah.
that whole bin just randomly.
And I remember when I called it, I transferred over to channel 1, and calls were already being made. And I get on there, and
Who
it
was Central Control that day?
I don't remember, but Sergeant McKinley was our ASC.
Okay.
And I call him, and he's like, I was like, Central Control, Sande, I got approximately 16 to 20 inmates fighting
Yeah.
right now. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, I got 16, 20 inmates. I need
Like-
Alpha Bravo and any additional staff
Yeah.
you can
Look
send
at your
me.
cameras.
So then I hear Alpha Bravo, and then the lieutenant's like, is it really that bad? And McKinley calls back out. He's like, how many inmates are fighting? I was like, all of them. Send help.
That was
Yeah.
literally me on the one.
And
They always
then I hear,
question you.
yes.
yeah.
It's
So
so
then
irritating.
I hear Alpha Bravo,
Why?
and then they said contact Charlie. Charlie response.
Yeah.
So Charlie response came over from IMSI that day.
Okay.
And again, I'm still sitting there on this tier. I'd emptied my 9, emptied my 4, and I just tucked myself back into a corner. I was
Yeah.
like, in the end, I've got nothing to defend myself now. So I was
Yeah.
like, if these guys decided, hey, we're going to turn on this idiot now, let's
Yeah.
go get him. I was like, at least I'm going to have my back to a wall. I'm at least
Yeah.
have a fighting chance.
Yeah.
And then I still remember the second that door opened, the front door opened, and I heard everybody on the fucking ground. I could hear Hoke's big ass coming
Yeah.
through, and it was like a true sense of relief. I'm not the biggest guy.
Yeah. And Hope's
So,
a big dude too.
Yeah,
You know?
it was a sense of relief because I knew him, Hasanovic. I knew Praska was probably just going to hold the door because he was scared of OC. And he did. He just held the door for
Yeah.
everybody. He wouldn't come in.
Dude,
He was
Chastity
allergic
is
to
so
OC, I
funny.
swear. But I remember guys just getting tossed around and by Hasanovic and everybody that was coming in, and it was true sense of relief. It's just like,
Do
okay,
you guys still talk to Hasanovic?
I talk to him every once in a while. Yeah.
I haven't talked to. I like that dude a lot too.
I don't. I've seen him. He was at a
didn't mean
soccer
to
game
derail
with
you,
my
I
sons,
just-
but no. But yeah, and then of course, then this gets all done, and I remember sitting in the office all day, it was like towards the end of our shift. So this happens, and now we've got like 20 roll-ups to do.
So I was sitting in. I want to say B block. I came in early that day and I heard all this stuff going down. And I was like, "Fuck, dude, I'm not going. I'll deal with it next shift." I didn't really care.
I remember I got on the radio because I was control. I was like, break, control. We need a lot of staff. We have a big fight.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Those roll-ups were, again, towards the end of our shift, and you got 20 roll-ups, and we're in the middle of like, I'm completely
I did show up like
coated.
an hour early to help with roll ups.
I'm coated from head to toe in OC. I'm just completely coated. Anywhere there was OC, it was all
Yeah.
over me because it was just in the air. And so now I've got to stay behind shift for another couple hours. Luckily, we did it all together.
were
and
so
we had a
pissed,
lot
I
of good,
remember that.
a lot of good guys. Like we had Nebeker and all the guys that we had down there. We had
Yeah.
a solid crew, and we were sitting there doing all those roll ups and stuff. And then I won't name his name, but a lieutenant comes down and he's like, hey, so what happened? I told him what happened. He's like, what were you thinking going in that door? You want me to call you on the radio and said, hey, I sat there and watched?
Yeah. We have a
Like,
job to
I'm
do.
damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. And I remember going home that night and I was pissed off. Like, I went home, took a shower, sat outside because it was cool outside and burning from OC. And I was talking to my wife. I was like, I almost left that day. I was so pissed about how they treated us.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, they treated us like we were criminals.
Yeah.
They wanted to know, oh, who rolled that door? Sidwell, did you intentionally roll that door?
Yeah.
No, dude, nobody intentionally did this. I know my people.
Yeah, nobody's going to intentionally cause more work for themselves.
Well,
you know?
if you're going to intentionally roll that door, I'd at least hope that they would have the respect back. Hey, Sande, by the way.
Yeah. This is coming.
Heads up.
Yeah.
This is coming. Heads
Yeah.
up, bud. But I remember explaining to that lieutenant, like, hey, you know, nobody did this
Now I
intentionally.
want to know who the lieutenant was.
We'll talk. I don't know. Should I name names? Okay. Yeah, we'll name that afterwards. But
Were you working that day?
No, that was my weekend.
Oh, good for you.
it was just
Good for
it was
you.
a rough day, and we stayed that night, and we're doing all these roll ups, and I've got lieutenants, and you got the captain down there, and you had the warden come in. I think it would have been a weekend because we had a warden
It
come
was
in.
a Saturday.
And they came in and talked to us, and they're like, I remember kept questioning me, like, what were you thinking going in there? I was like, well, I opened up the door. I was like, I didn't really know what was going on. I saw them all run through the door, but in my mind, I wasn't thinking
Yeah.
like, hey, who's out on that walk? Is it
Yeah.
soft walk? Is it hard walk? Is it the Norteños? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Again, looking back, I probably knew back then, but I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was just.
That was a shit show.
That investigation, dude.
Well, 'cause
That
everyone's like, "Are you good down there?
investigation
That's your
was
unit." I'm like, no.
intense.
Yeah, they did it on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and we had people. The investigation where we had.
Oh, they were trying to get us to turn on each other.
Oh, yeah, we
everybody
had
tried to get
down-
them to turn on
yep.
me for sure.
Isn't that a
Downtown-
problem though? Like instead of being like, "Hey, I'm really proud of the way you guys all did all
Are
your
you
stuff."
sure they didn't accidentally roll the door?
Oh, dude, I was in that
I would've thrown
investigations
Sadie under the
office
bus
for
immediately.
like 2 hours.
I'd be like,
sitting
absolutely.
there.
They saved me for last. I had to hold over to do my SIR review.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then they're
yeah,
all
the
trying to get
SIR,
me.
that's what it was.
They're like, "Are you sure you didn't accidentally do it? Did somebody accidentally touch the screen?" And then
That's
and then
so-
they're like, "Knowing what you know now, how would you do it differently? Would you send Sande in there?" I was like, "I know you guys want me to tell you, but I would send him in there exactly the same way. I know him.
Yeah.
I know how fast I was sending people out there. I
Yeah.
was like, I know my staff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send him out there
Yeah.
again." And they're like, "I know you guys don't want to hear this, but I'd do it again."
And that's what I told them too. They're like, you wouldn't have any reservations. I was like, no, looking at it, like I went through there, and anytime I know I'm going to a fight, I know there's a lot of big dudes coming right behind
Yeah.
me. Like I've got a whole team of dudes that are just gonna wreck you.
Well, and that's the thing, and everybody's down. You have to worry about them being like, are they gonna perform? Are they gonna, I think that's another thing about being in a unit with like I couldn't be like an RFM or something where you're just like bouncing around because
You don't know anybody.
yeah, not knowing the people that are gonna like have your back. I think
It's
is
stressful.
Yeah.
And you can't do that in a unit like G Block. You had to have people that you knew you could trust.
Yeah,
And that's
like,
what I
had
said. When
frogs
I
on
went
my
through that
shift.
door, I had no reservations about it because I said, what's the worst they're going to do? They might get a couple licks in on me, but I know everybody's going to come through
Yeah.
that door and then they're going to get tore apart. So
Yeah.
like, I can hold out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, I wasn't really thinking about that time. I was just like, hey, we got something that's got to get done. It's got to get done.
Yeah.
But
I don't think enough people understand that because when you're in that moment, it's fight or flight. But I think you and I might have been talking about this. Like, I feel like comfort in chaos when stuff like that happens.
Oh, true.
Like, I feel like that's kind of what I've missed since leaving the prisons is like, I feel like my life is really boring, you know?
Yeah, I do the same thing.
but,
I
like-
look back at it, it was like I kind of wish I was still doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
I do and I don't.
it goes 0 to 100 and it's like, but I feel like so calm in like my reaction to it. But on the other side of it, it's like, you also made pennies on the dollar for, what we were doing. And that was part of my other reason why I wanted to get out of Max. And like, dude, I even talked about going to the farm because I'm like, those dudes are making the same amount of money I'm making.
and doing
And the inmates are doing tier checks. Like, I'm going to go down there, dude. You
the
know?
inmates are no, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Because they know anything, they get booted out of that
Yeah.
program. It's just,
So I remember I showed up there for an overtime one time. This was, I think Chad Page was still the warden of the farm at the time. And I showed up for overtime. We had just gotten vests. This was like before everybody was getting vests. Like Max had the big vest, and like the leg drop down for the Mark 9 and stuff. And that was my gear. That's what we wore in A block. And I got there for overtime, and all the inmates were like, "Who is this guy? Like,
Why is Cert here?"
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just doing overtime. They're like, what? Well, why do you carry that? Why? Because then we were issued the Mark 9s because we, had for that unit. So I had it on me. And I just remember like looking around being like, dude, people do, this is what they do every day. Like there's guys that have been here for 25 years that are retiring from this. Like this is cush.
Yeah.
Literally inmates were hanging out in like pod control with the officer, and they were going to do tier checks. So like, I forgot who the officer was, Adams or something. Hey, I'll go check 1 for you. And he's like, oh, okay, thanks. And he like walks out on 2. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Ones and zeros.
Yeah, literally doing count. I'm like, it was like the trustee or the janitor, but like, it was the craziest thing. And I'm like, this is a different world, dude. I'm less than a mile down the road.
And then you look at G Block and you're like, Sieber was my trust.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, it's just crazy. Like, I still am a firm believer that if you're working AdSeg or you're working like G Block or A Block at IMSI or anything that's like max custody, you need to have a pay bump versus what everybody else is
That would have
making.
been nice.
I mean, the amount of work you do versus like I said, the guys at the farm or even the yard,
I think they started doing that. G Block got the one, and then you had to
really?
be in either over at Max. It was like their 2
probably
ones,
A
like
block
and J Block or something.
yeah.
But if you're anywhere else, you didn't get it.
I didn't even want to originally go into G Block when I did.
I know.
But Walton convinced me because Walton was, I helped train Walton when
Sorry,
he was
Walton.
new.
Dude,
And Walton-
I gotta pee
Sorry,
again.
Walton.
I gotta pee again, but can we get into the Walton stuff after?
Yeah.
And she's fighting with this inmate, and like Eberly's just standing at the door, just like, what the fuck, and that dude's known for having like skull crushers on him. So I run to the top of the stairs. This dude gets a hold of her OC, starts spraying her, and so I go to attack. Like
That
he's
video
like,
was epic.
and this, did you ever watch it?
Yes, I sure did.
Yeah, so like he's like trying to throw her over the railing, and then like I run up, like go to like tackle, and then I get sprayed just directly in the face. As I'm like going to tackle them, I'm like, oh, and, like I was like, oh shit, I gotta still hit them. And then he takes the OC can and like throws it like off the tier.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, and I'm like now laying on top of them, like, and I look, all I can see is like I got one eye, and like I look up at Eberly's ugly ass is just sitting there staring at me with his like mustache.
I
Yeah,
have a big old mustache.
yeah. And I was like, Eberly, please go in your cell.
Oh yeah, I remember that dude that ended up spraying her. He took it from her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right after she sprayed him.
yeah.
And I got
Watched the
pissed, man.
video.
I honestly
Yeah.
kind of felt. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people felt bad for the dude because he was so provoked.
No,
100%.
Like,
Dude, I even wrote that in my report. Like, she 100% provoked him.
Is
Like,
he still out? Is
I think
Male
he's a
Frost
lifer.
still out there?
Who?
Male Frost?
I don't know.
Yeah. ISO.
I thought he got like kind of booted because I know like there was some weird stuff with them, and like again, I don't know the.
They divorced.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have divorced her too. That chick was miserable, dude. Oh my god. I had to work with her
Full to be.
for like 3 months until she got booted out of G Block, and I'm like, dude, I was going. Who was our sergeant on swings? Do you guys remember?
It's funny when people hook up together that work out at IDOC and then you have IDOC babies.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh gosh. And they like 9 out of 10 of them never work out
No,
because then you're just always together.
I can't remember. Anyways, yeah.
I remember when I used to work with my wife for like 6 months at a call center. She worked in another part in the call center, but we rode to work together and home and everything. It freaking sucked.
I get
Yeah.
time away.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Froz is absolutely miserable. Yeah, she ended up getting booted, and I remember going to the sergeant like every day, like, dude, get her out of here. Like, she is a problem. She is a,
That's why it was really important for like the people you worked with. I mean, we always got in trouble because we bullied people apparently, but
We
but
bullied
Fish.
shit out of people.
But dude, I feel like
Fish.
I think that's what G Block was though. It's like you had to have thick skin, and like if
oh yeah, that's what we always said. We're like, these new people are getting offended. I was like, if we're offending them as officers, what do you
Yeah.
think's gonna happen when I got inmates that are like just
When
shit
they
to
meet
them?
Sieber,
yeah.
Constantly.
Wait till
That's how you get respect out there from the inmates.
Yeah.
That was like
Talking
you
shit.
got to be pushy and talk shit.
Oh, yeah.
and they're pushy and talk shit and
The only person that I like on my shift that I struggled, I don't say to get along with, because I liked really everybody, but what was his name? And
what was the other, the taller dude? I'm totally drawing a blank on his name right now. Him and were like butt buddies.
Yeah. He was skinnier.
Yeah.
He wound up marrying that girl that was Mormon.
Yeah.
The parents were upset about it.
Wasn't the one that went to the prom or something with them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, she's 18, I swear.
Yeah.
Dude, you're.
He was like 26.
Yeah,
No, he was like
yeah.
23 or something like that,
And
but
you're-
still.
I mean, he looked like he was 12.
Early
Yeah.
20s.
I think he's a cop now. I think he's actually working for a department.
God help that police.
I know. I want to say it's a smaller department. I could be mistaken, but I'm like 90% sure. I forgot where he's working.
Sounds like a horrible idea.
Yeah, it's like
I
Not
felt like, I'm going to
Emmett.
be biased here, but I felt like second shift was a much tighter crew and not as crazy of stirring up the inmates as third shift.
No.
Third shift was like, I swear, your guys' shift was always stirring up. I'm not saying it was everybody on that shift.
no, it was
It was awful.
yeah.
He should have never been allowed.
Yeah.
He would have been. He's the guy that would have worked out good in pie.
Yeah.
Like that's where he belongs.
So I tried to bid into second shift, but they wouldn't. I'm totally drawing a blank on who the sergeant was. But he was like, "Hey, we really need you on to stay on third," and I'm like, "Dude, like I'm having a hard time."
Sergeant?
Yeah,
Miller?
no, because Miller was second shift sergeant, but
Oh, yeah, you guys didn't have the same. That's right.
I can't remember who it
We
was.
had one sergeant. What are you talking?
thought it was one sergeant.
No, we had
No, you had
no.
Miller.
Maybe it was our corporal,
You had Corporal
not Reyes.
Reyes.
Not Reyes. No, we had why am I trying to blank on his name right now?
Big Chungus.
I liked Reyes, dude. Reyes is cool. Why am I trying to blank on? Maybe it was the corporal. But anyways, I was like, dude, I want to get off third shift. Like this, like the crew is good, but
You know who your corporal was tall guy.
oh no, it was Guillen. Corporal Guillen.
Did you have Keith?
Yeah. He had just gotten corporal.
I remember, I feel like we would.
Do you remember Guillen?
Yeah, man.
Again, I didn't know he was corporal.
Yeah. He was our Corporal Guillen.
I mean, it's probably a good call that you were on there because there were some questionable characters in that
Needed
show.
at least one level headed
Dude, I had it every day I came in, I was like, dude, it was like one thing after another. But like, yeah, it would just spin people up. And I'm like, dude, stop. And he's like, what are they going to do? Hit me? And I'm like, yes. That's 100%.
Because they're pissed off.
Yeah. I'm like, 100% they're going to go after you. And he's like, well, then they get 5 years and I get whatever. I'm like, yeah, but then we have to respond to that. Like,
That's the problem too. Is they start hiring 18-year-olds that are like hotheads, and you're like, I mean,
Yeah.
21-year-olds aren't much better, but at least you have a little bit of experience out of high school.
from 18 to 21, I was way different. I feel like I was still an idiot, but I feel like there was a pretty big,
I was definitely.
When we first started, everybody could go out for drinks afterwards. Now you're carding your own crew members to see if they can go out
Yeah.
for drinks with you. You're like, your shoes still light up, bud. You're too young.
yeah. Yeah. You have Velcro on your shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was just funny how much we always got in trouble for bullying people. They're like, I mean, Sande and I were probably the worst. We got the worst of it, which is fair. We were pretty bad. But it was like, yeah, if you can't handle it with us,
Yeah.
that's what we said. You guys should send all the new people through G Block first.
Give them something. Yeah. To get kind of set up
It's
for.
a sink or swim down there.
Yeah.
Give them a
Yeah. Because Hoke was in my.
3-day follow
Yeah.
to start their
Yeah.
FTO.
Yeah, and we'd always get the.
I think Hoke is my
We
academy.
had like this speech prepared for everybody that came in there. We're like, we say some off the wall stuff in here, but if it offends you, just let us know. And they're like, no, we were the military, we were all these other things. Like nothing can offend us. We were construction workers or whatever before. We're like, all right, man. And those were always the ones that were just freaking, yeah,
Worst.
just terrible. They were like crying, and then people would be coming to us like, Sidwell, did you say this to this guy? I was like, yeah,
I
said
called
that to
him a fish, dude. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I remember having that talk. McKinley come down and be like, hey, so it just word came down from the higher ups. You can't be calling them fish. I was like, what about guppy?
Yeah.
I remember McKinley's like, well, they didn't say guppy. Like, okay, so I can call him guppy. He's like, no, let's not use that one either.
Yeah.
Flounder? No.
And then you get those like new guys that would see us talking shit to the inmates, and we was like a good rapport back and forth, and then they would think that they could chime in.
Just immediately.
And those inmates would look at him and be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, they're like, get him in line, dude. Like, sorry about that. Yeah.
Like I remember when Loya came out and he starts to swinging because his door popped on accident. And that's when we gave Nebuchadnezzar the picture on the wall of the emperor deciding to kill his emperor. And then Loya comes out. He's like in his socks, just swinging. Him and his celly, and they're both in their socks, just swinging. They get rocked by that black dude that was a boxer on the street.
Yeah.
Just rocked them.
Yeah, they came up behind him, sucker punched him while he was on the phone.
Yeah.
That's right.
That dude, I remember, he looks at the phone, looks at this dude, and just starts whooping their asses.
And then every time I would do a tear check after that, I'd look at Lloyd, be like, "Hey, you got your shoes on? All right, just making sure you're ready
Wasn't
to
the
go."
heavyset black dude? What is, I can't, he was always
He was
super
on a
cool.
soft walk, and
Yeah.
he handled those guys.
What?
Yeah.
He was on a soft walk, not because he had like weird charges. I forgot. It was like something because he like rolled with like bloods or something on the street and he didn't have anybody to like.
Yeah,
I don't
He
know.
had no
Or
beef
just-
with anybody.
Yeah, he was just
Yeah.
he just didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
but,
He 100% knew how to fight.
yeah, and
Yeah,
he
he
got
was
rocked.
he was such a cool dude.
And the dude that got the worst shot was Loya when he fell and slipped in the OC and his head hit the stool
Bounced
for
off.
the kiosk, like a metal kiosk.
And I remember, so they all went down to the hole, right? We brought the black dude back, and he's like, "What, guys, what?" As he's walking up
to the hard
stairs.
walk?
Yeah.
Just smiling and waving at him. He's like, "What happened, guys? What happened?"
Yeah. I actually like that dude. I would BS with him quite a bit.
Yeah,
The black dude.
it was interesting when we were working there and it started bringing in the transgenders.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
That was like a whole switch. Now we had to do different shower times and
Yeah.
we had to do all these other things, and it felt so weird.
Forgot,
It was like
what was that one that went back to Nevada?
Daisy Meadows. Yeah, Daisy
Daisy
Meadows.
not Thicky Ricky.
No,
Oh.
Daisy Meadows. Oh, man.
I remember Daisy Meadows.
Gosh,
I wonder if
How'd
that's
you
still a
remember
thing
that
there.
name?
Thicky Ricky.
No, Daisy
Oh,
Meadows.
yeah. Remember all those love notes we found between him and that other dude?
Oh, and he would get caught. I remember how many times they were doing counting. They'd catch him in somebody else's cell.
Yeah, he would sleep over in
Oh,
other
yeah?
dudes' cells at night. At the last
Yeah.
movement or whatever they would have,
Yeah.
he would
Yeah.
go into someone else's
Get
cell,
out the next morning.
and then at breakfast before the next count, because they never made you do standing ID count at the 1 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
count.
Yeah.
So that at the 5 o'clock, sometimes they would do it, but they would have breakfast at like 4:30, and they just switch back.
I will say, when I was on Graves,
Oh,
though, Adam
gosh.
Norris was probably one of the dopest dudes to work with.
Oh yeah,
Do you guys remember Norris?
Yeah,
He worked Graves with. I think he stayed on
Bald-headed
Graves.
guy?
No, he wasn't
No.
bald. He always wore a hat. He's probably in his early 40s at the time.
Remember him?
He was like my
was good,
only
dude.
on Effin Dick was my lieutenant on Graves, and then who was the sergeant? Who was the ASC on Graves at that time? I'm totally drawing a blank on who it was. Do you remember who would have?
I can't remember back then.
I know
I
it's
remember I
so
was doing
hard.
a lot of overtime during
A long
Graves on
time.
that time.
What?
I was coming in for a lot of overtime on Graves.
Yeah. But Effin Dick, is he still there?
Hmm?
He's still doing his thing there.
He dropped down. He went from lieutenant and
Oh, yeah,
decided
he's
he
a
wanted to
sergeant,
be
yeah.
a sergeant. He was tired of, I don't know, the politics. or
decided?
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, he's a solid dude.
He's a
I
solid
liked.
dude, yeah.
I liked him a lot. I'm trying to remember who the sergeant was. Oh, it was Trumbull.
Oh, Trumbull's a good dude. I went and
Trumbull's,
seen him when
yeah.
he had open heart surgery.
Yeah,
I was in
I-
Utah. I just happened to be down there at the
Trumbull's
same time.
such a rad dude.
Yeah, he's a cool
Did
dude.
you know Trumbull too?
Yeah, I knew Trumbull.
Yeah.
I didn't ever work directly with him, but
Oh, dude, when he was the ASC and I had Effin Dick as the lieutenant, dude. Oh my God, Graves was so much fun, dude.
Yeah. I think
Talk
that's just
so much
anything
shit.
in the prison. Like, it doesn't matter where you're posted as long as you have a good crew. Like,
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool, like, when we started that camaraderie thing and we started to get, like, a softball team together. We were just the worst. But
I don't think we ever won a
Your
game.
That was awesome. What are you talking
I don't think we ever won a game.
I think we ended up in almost fights in almost
we
all
were
of them
terrible.
about?
I don't know. We just drank a lot, and then we sang Old Town Road. And
Yeah.
I remember when that song came out.
we were so bad, the other team let us use their bats just to try.
I feel like you hosted quite a bit for softball nights. Like you
Yeah.
did.
Oh, we did like a little pregame at my house.
Yeah.
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 Oh, that was, back when you were living right near the fields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why we would go to your
You
house
and
because it
Humpty.
was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I miss the softball team. What was the name again?
The break.
That's
Yeah,
right.
We had our own jerseys and everything.
Yeah.
We were the worst. We looked
I
like
still have my jersey.
I was trying to find it for today, but I just got the Sorry Walton shirt instead.
Yeah, so let's get into that. So let's talk about that shirt. Why do you have that shirt on?
Well, sorry Walton again still.
If you see this,
Walton asked me, he said, hey, these two dudes in tier 2 cell 14, they're both on electronics restriction. We need to go take all their stuff. Can you come help me real quick before we got to switch to areas? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come help you.
shouldn't have asked.
So we go in there, and then he's like, you take the top bunk, I'll take the bottom bunk. And I was like, all right. So I start getting all the stuff over from their little shelf, the TVs, alarm clocks, everything. They got tablets, whatever. Just put in a little pile over here. I had my Mark 9 on my right side here, the handle. I had my own private one. I didn't want to keep checking out one every day. So
Yeah.
I had the one that just went backwards, and then the strap goes over the can instead of over the head.
Yeah.
And it was backwards. And then I was like, hey, Walton, watch this. I'm going to jump off the top here, and I'm going to break my ankles when I land. He's like, shut up, man. Don't say that. It's like, all right, I'm done up here. I'm going to come down. So I go to jump off, and that handle snags
Catches
on
it.
the little lip that holds their mattress from falling off. And it just, the canister stays in the holster, and the top pops off, and it's a brand new Mark 9. And it
Everywhere.
just covers me. I look like Two-Face from Batman. Just as I come to land, I land forward, so it just sprays Walton right in front of me, too. Just douses everything in the room, all their clothes, everything. And then all the vents are shared, so there's other inmates starting to cough, and the other inmates are directly outside their door in the showers, locked in there while we're getting their cell done. So now they're coughing outside, and all their shit is just blasted with OC. And then Walton goes out the front, and I call for the radio, and I say, hey, I need to go out the back door. And this is the screenshot of me going out the back door blind, just like, oh, gosh. I
So
had
funny.
glasses. I don't know where my glasses are. I don't know. Maybe they had them on.
I
Or they're in my
remember because
hand.
everybody's like, "What is going on?"
Yeah. Yeah. So
Sidwell pops the top.
I still hold the record for the fastest deployment of a whole Mark 9 in under a second. So beat that.
So
I remember
good.
Walton comes out. We're like, "Dude, what happened?" Fucking Sidwell. That's all I hear.
Yeah.
Walton was
so
a good corporal, though, huh?
Good
Oh,
on Sergeant
yeah,
Miller
he
for
was
making me
awesome.
this sweet shirt, though. Still won't get rid of it. Thanks, Miller.
You
So-
still talk to Miller?
Yeah. I haven't talked to him in a couple months, but yeah,
Is he still out there?
I believe so. Yeah, I think he just went back to his DHO like chill spot. Dude, I felt bad for Miller. He had his hands full with between that unit and between his staff that year. Oh my gosh, give that guy a raise. Jiminy. But he was so good. He always brought us in all the snacks and stuff. Actually, it was Carrie, so shout out Carrie.
Yeah.
But gosh. I mean,
Carrie's such
dude,
a
when we
sweetheart.
started, I
She
remember
really
that
is.
when we started putting all those pictures on the wall, Miller was like, guys, we're gonna get in trouble. I started it first with Garcia. I put up a turtle wizard.
Yeah.
The turtle.
'Cause
wizard.
I
Does
called him
anybody
a
still talk to
turtle
him?
because I haven't talked to him, but we called him turtle because he was so quiet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then for some reason he said that his buddies called him wizard. So I found like a Google image of like a turtle wizard, and I just stuck it right between all this stuff. And then slowly but surely we kept adding everybody on the wall. And then ours was like all innocent. You had to know like a backstory, and then you got third shift over here, and it's like gay Pokemon or whatever the hell, like they're butt fucking over here. Like, what are you guys? You guys are gonna get us in trouble. We're just innocent
And
over
they
here.
did.
You have to know us.
It
Yeah.
ended with Chungus.
Yeah.
No, that was us on our side. Chungus was on our side because I got
Oh no, you're right.
because he just went through a divorce.
That's right.
And there was like I got a picture, and it was like this dude's arm, and it was like all these girls' names, and it was Ted and crossed out and the new one, and
That's
crossed
right.
out the new one, and then I put his new girlfriend's name, and then
Some
I'm
of your other
sorry, that
feelings
was
hurt.
that was crossing the line. It was. I'm sorry. We did have some that were crossing the line for sure, but it wasn't too crazy like your
I
guys'.
remember I came in that next morning. They were all gone. I was like, "What happened?"
Remember we had the blank pieces of paper on the wall, or no? It was the Thestrals, wasn't it? The Thestrals
Yes,
from Harry Potter, and you
yes.
could only see them if you had seen a dead body.
Yeah.
Right? So the joke would be because that one dude died on tier 4,
Yeah.
and we said that Miller was the the one that seen it or whatever, right? So then if you weren't there for that, you just look up at the wall and be like, "Why is there a blank piece of paper on the wall?"
There's
Remember when
so
we
much dumb shit that happened in that unit.
remember when the Paw Control looked like Texas Roadhouse and we just brought in like pounds of peanuts?
Oh, yeah.
We were just throwing the peanut shells on the ground. It was like every week would bring in a new 5-pound bag of peanuts from Costco.
I miss the stupid games. The cups. We talked
Oh,
about the
Nebuchadnezzar's
cups.
cups,
holes
the
in the
coffee
cup.
cups.
Nebuchadnezzar,
Yeah.
I remember that they were poking holes, and then they said, well, hey, it's styrofoam. You can't see it if you cut it all the way around. So Nebuchadnezzar cut with a razor blade all around the bottom of the cup. And third shift came in, and they were all mixed in. The guys,
Yeah, you
they're
take, like-
checking.
Dude,
he
I would
checks
get
the
so
cups,
pissed.
and
I
it's
would like start grabbing
there's
them.
no holes.
Yeah.
So he looked at it, he's like, no holes. He's pouring the coffee. All of a sudden, it filled up enough that the bottom just
breaks
came
out.
out, and the coffee went everywhere.
I was so
The
pissed.
slow drips were the worst because you wouldn't see it. You'd just be holding it, and all of a sudden you look down at your pants and it's just like covered. You're like,
And Nebuchadnezzar's just sitting there busting up laughing. I miss Nebuchadnezzar. He's one that I really miss. He was a good dude.
I remember when we used to throw all the oranges up to the ceiling and see if we could get them to stick, and then they would just start rotting, and then they'd eventually come down. Or how many times we just played dodgeball with all the rolls of toilet paper, and we knew the blind spots where you couldn't
Yep.
see. And eventually you just start seeing like a random roll of toilet paper just come flying across the camera. You're like, oh gosh.
The one that was aiming down the hallway.
Yeah.
I don't know, like these are the stuff that I think about. I'm like, God, man, that was so fun when you think back on it. But I feel like even like going back, if we were like, let's say we would all go back like right now, I don't think you could remake those times.
No. And you know,
know?
yeah, higher ups would say, you'd say, oh, that, you know, that was unprofessional. You shouldn't be doing that. But that's the thing.
That's what
that-
got us through.
Yeah,
Got you through the
it's the
day.
same
Yeah.
thing with the military. You know, when you have a tough time somewhere, you think of or you come up with something to make it a little better, a little bit easier on you.
Yeah.
And that was our way of making it like all the shit times that we had there, all the stuff that we had to deal with, and that was our de-stressing period. Like
Yeah.
we always knew we could joke around at all times, but we knew when it came to be serious, we would handle business every single time.
We
without
always
fail.
put the snacks up on the roof in the middle of wintertime because they'd stay cold.
Oh yeah.
So
we
we
had
always just-
cold drinks and stuff up there.
Yeah. Remember we filled up that whole 5-gallon Gatorade thing with soda one time? That was disgusting.
But I think that's why we got away with the stuff we got away with, because when shit hit the fan, like they
We
knew.
handled it.
got
They
taken
they
care
knew
of,
that we
taken
were
care
there
of,
to get it done.
Dude, the scariest parts were like when you had a walk, you were taken out to rec, and then Sonovic would accidentally let out another walk, and you have to cross. Like
Yeah.
that one time in the North Yard
Yeah.
that you just see you booking across to block
Yes.
those guys,
Yeah.
and then that one white dude, and they're just getting the knees.
Yeah, me and Prask were just sitting there. Or no, me and you.
Me and you,
Yeah.
yeah.
We were just, and they're like, why are you striking him like that? Because we had closed the gate and it was just you, me, and Prohaska and him. And we were
Yeah.
just kicking the shit out of this dude.
Yeah, he took
Forgot
about
what's his
6
name. Started with
Gilda.
the G. Gia. Or no.
Gilda.
Gilda.
Yeah. Dude, yeah,
He
that
was
Like
was
the underwear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
No, that's
was a tool.
Gildan.
Oh, that's
Oh,
Gildan.
that's
yeah.
right.
Gilda.
Pretty
Yeah,
close.
he
Yeah.
was a tool.
Those were sketchy moments, dude. Or especially like if they would cross paths in the dog yard between like.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, the only time that happened, it was like 2 Sereno groups. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Dude, what about when the hard walk and the soft walk mixed on the out in the cages? One of you was
handball cages.
Yeah, so it was like somebody was in handball while somebody else was going out to what were the other ones called? Well, it was the cages, then you had the ball field, and then
Yeah, the North Yard, the South Yard, and the
Handball
cages.
yeah, but like basically somebody was in the handball court, and somebody didn't check the was it the north
2
gate,
gates.
and I think maybe it was Chandler was walking the next guys out to the whatever the
the
cages out
weights,
there,
yeah.
and they realized the door wasn't open or the door wasn't closed, and so you had all the hard walk guys barrel out, and me and Chandler are in the middle of basically these
I don't miss all those
soft walk
gates.
coming this way, hard walk realizes the gates open, starts
Yeah.
barreling out, and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, this is not going to be good.
Or when doors would show that they were closed and they're really not.
And they
Yeah.
weren't. Who
Like
was
they
that?
would pop. Or
The
they would
half
bounce.
black dude that was like, I think it started with a W. That like thought he like
Officer and me.
no inmate that he like thought he ran shit. He was on a soft walk, super loud. God, I can't.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That dude, and he hit the deck like a little girl when that happened, But then when it was all over and done with, he's like, "Oh, I was gonna fucking mop him up. Oh, dude, if they would have come my way." And I'm like, "You had every opportunity to go and hit the ground so quick, dude." And he's like, "Nations, why you put my business out there?" And I'm like, you're the one
Just
talking
fake facts.
Yeah, I'm like, you're the one that's sitting here talking like if I wasn't in the back of the pack, I would have got my hands on them and blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you hit the deck so quick. I'm like, do not make me go screen record this camera and
show
come and show everybody, dude.
The officers didn't even have to say get on the ground.
Yeah.
You were already on the
Dude,
ground.
he hit the deck so quick.
You were telling the other inmates to get on the ground
Yeah.
too.
He's
Yeah,
like,
just
listen.
listen to
Yeah,
Just
get on the
ground.
ground. But it was like 3 white dudes and like 2 Hispanic dudes from the hard walk that just were teeing off. But there's 2 soft walk guys that like were probably the last 2 standing before everybody hit the ground. And I can't remember who it was, but the 2 soft walk dudes, like they were white guys, but they handled business. I know one of them was hard walk like that same year before he dropped out, but he was actually had hands on him. So he was fighting, but it's such a tight area, that there only so many people could like get in. So like they're all trying to get at each other. But it was like the 2 soft walk dudes, the white guys that were like basically teeing off on the Hispanic dudes that were like trying to come through. They just couldn't break the line. And then Chandler's just in the middle, was like, spraying as much as he could. Dude. Just like, felt bad for the guy, dude. He was like by himself. And like, I'm on the other side. I can't get through because just a mound of people. That black dude was just hit the deck. And that's why I was like, you were so scared. I mean, I don't know.
Didn't you guys have the most staff assaults on your shift? I felt like.
Probably. That
I
sounds
felt like
about
it was
right.
your guys' shift was always
I
getting
mean, we had
attacked.
that. They had 2 of them on their shift. We had one on our shift. Remember, me and Garcia, and then we had what's his name?
We got Walton at one time.
Walton.
We had Walton, and then the same day that me and Garcia had that one, you guys had Huffield.
Huffield,
got
yeah.
attacked that night. That white dude on 6.
Yeah. And Huffield handled
That was
business,
supposed
dude.
to be.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be a guy down.
Huffield was pissed about that because he was like, dude, like I basically took that for you. So Huffield just
I
happened.
took your DP.
Yeah.
Huffield just happened to go on the tier, and
Yep.
it was
He was the one that got it.
yeah, he was.
They were selling up for the night.
It was basically whoever came out on the tier, but like was talking shit to these guys the night before, or that the walks before, and he's like, all right, come out on this next one. It's like, I'll fucking be there, blah blah. Well,
He didn't go out there, and it was Huffield. Dude, and
He's
Huffield,
like, hey, Huffield, they said they wanted to talk to you.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, to be honest with you. But dude,
They
Huffield
said they
handled
needed something.
business, dude. He squared up with that dude, and because didn't the dude hit him first? It was like a blindside.
Yeah, he sucker punched him.
Yeah.
Like, typical.
And Huffield handled business.
Dude, remember those knives you found? You and Barajas?
Oh, man. No, me and... No, so...
I
what-
miss Bras, dude. She was funny as hell.
Bras told me they were walking by a cell, and Bras said, hey, there's something shady going on in that cell. She's like, I think they're tattooing.
Oh, yeah, that was at the end of the day. Nobody wanted to go out there.
And they're like, hey, we're not going to do this. And I was like, fuck it. I'll hold over. I don't care.
Yeah.
I walked out there, and I was like, hey, guys, check your cell real quick. And they're like, sure, whatever. We weren't doing anything. Checking. I remember there were scrapes all over the concrete on the floor. I was like, what is this?
Sharpening.
But
Yeah.
I wasn't, in my mind, I was just like, fucking idiots. Who knows what these guys are doing?
Yeah.
Sitting in
Trying
the
to dig
cell,
out.
and I
Yeah.
started searching them, and I remember it was they were both natives, and I
I
had
feel like
the,
those dudes always had
I
knives on
had
them.
the cell
Always had
open.
knives. Yeah.
I had one guy locked up. I had the other guy unlocked, and he was handing me. I told him like, hey, let me get your stuff. So I'm checking the shoes, and I open up the shoe, and there's a knife like this long, and it was sharp. And I remember holding it, and I was like I looked down at this. I look up at him, and he's looking at me. I look back down, and I immediately pulled my 9. I was like, don't fucking move.
Yeah. Was he cool about it though?
No. Well, he starts getting mouthy with me, and I immediately get on the radio. I was like, I need assistance now.
Yeah.
And Nebeker was in the cell. So I yelled, Nebeker. I was like, Nebeker, I need you out here. I was like, secure him. So he gets secured. Forgot the other officer. He was a corporal too. That came out, heavier set guy, shorter, white dude. But he comes out, and he starts searching the other guy. Finds another one, a matching set.
In
we
the
still
shoe,
don't,
right?
Yeah, still don't know where the metal came from, but
And
those
it
things were
It
massive.
was wrapped like a Japanese handle and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Like a
nice,
samurai sword?
It was
Yeah,
a nice
like
blade.
those things weren't just for looks. Like
Yeah.
someone was gonna get some damage from those.
They probably, I mean, they probably sell those things for some decent money in there.
I couldn't even imagine like the damage that would have done if you stabbed someone, because it's not like a little poker. Like, you had a full-on blade.
So that's the thing is I feel like the only knife I saw, like used knife that I saw, was during that Norteño Serrano thing. You'd mentioned like your first week, that fight. Like after that, did you see any other stabbings or slashings or anything?
Yeah, so I ended up finding a couple knives out on the rec yard when I was working rec, and then we had a stabbing out at rec. It was an AK guy that got shanked, just poked. It was a pencil. They used a pencil or something, and they just poked him 24 times with this pencil, and then they tried to throw it over the fence into H block yard,
And it hit the barbed wire and came back in. They're like,
yeah, they didn't make it over the fence. But
God, those guys are so dumb sometimes.
it was just So I saw two stabbings. I was actually there for.
I feel like
responding, and it was like
There's one dude that got
found a
pretty
handful
wrecked
of
on the
knives.
softball field.
I
Wasn't
feel like I found more than I
What one
ever
was
saw
that one?
used.
Was that the one you were at?
Uh-huh.
The softball on the
Yeah.
softball field, like by the backstop
They
over there?
legitimately kicked
yeah.
the shit out of him.
Out of who?
I don't know who it was, but I remember that was.
He wound up being
that was-
PC.
Yeah,
It was an
I would
AK
too.
guy, and he went to PC after. Yeah.
Yeah, bald-headed dude. Pretty tall. He's a bit like 6'5". But yeah, he got stomped out.
Lots of little holes
That's crazy. I don't know.
because it was 3-on-1.
See,
And it was right at the beginning of rec. So like you have rec, you have the movement, and
Yeah.
everybody's going out, and you're at the door like checking people, making
Yeah.
sure it's the right people coming out, not crossing walks and stuff.
And it could be like what 400 inmates to like what 3 officers outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
yeah.
rec.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
At
always,
ICC, yeah.
It was
Always
300
understaffed.
at least, and there's 2 of us walking the rec yard.
And that was
It
when
was
they
like,
had the
this
pie
is-
yard open, so you
Pie
got
was
pie,
open.
Yeah.
the big yard, and the small yard, and you got 3 dudes to cover that whole thing.
I'd
Yeah,
always
it was
looked
crazy.
at that because I was like, man, if I'm on the small yard and you got to sprint all the way up to the pie yard because some dude's getting blasted, like, well, it sucks to be that dude.
We did that once. It was me and Turner.
God, love Turner.
and we were walking around. We were right on the flat top there at the doors, and it was like a 4-on-5 up in the pie yard. And so we sprinted out there, and then we kept getting questions. It was like, "This is 4-on-5. There's just 2 of you, and you guys went out there and started spraying, and like getting people on the ground, and like tackled one guy, got him on the ground, like." And then you'd kind of be yelling at the next guy who's like,
What do you expect me to do?
And
Sit there and
and they're
watch.
like,
Yeah.
"No, you should have called control and asked
Yeah.
for cert." It was like, what?
No, wait
Armchair.
45
At
minutes.
what point
Yeah.
is that going to be like, I got to stop this fight? These guys are killing each other.
Yeah.
Me and Turner trust this dude with my life.
Yeah.
Go and we handle business. And by the time everybody else kind of got out there, everybody's laying down.
Well, that's what. So why
It
are
was
they even
like-
questioning you if like you guys already handled it?
I get it.
Yeah,
It's their
maybe.
job to question.
Turner and I.
I don't know.
Turner's such a funny dude. We used to be in the chow hall. That was back when like they actually had chow hall.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't have that anymore. It's just all in
Oh,
styros.
they still don't do that?
When I left, they didn't. But
Wait, there's no more chow hall,
they just had it all satellite
They
feeding
stopped
from
during COVID.
COVID.
and they just
So
said, like,
they
hey,
just
this works.
kept it that
This
way.
works
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Dude, I miss
But then
pancake mornings.
we would stand right next to where
Easter
they would
Sundays.
where they
Yeah.
would
Eggs.
check out or whatever, And Turner and I would talk like in lyric form. We would be like, remember when we were jocking them or
Sucking bitches and stuff.
yeah, he's like cruise. I remember when I was cruising down the street in my 6'4". He's like, yeah. Weren't you jocking them bitches and slapping them hoes? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, you were shooting the hoop, right? And I was like, yeah. And then these inmates are like, what? We would just always do these rap songs, but we would just talk back and forth.
That's so funny.
We started so many rumors at rec and in the chow hall.
Oh yeah, if they got no DORs, they were gonna turn the thing into a swimming pool, right?
Oh, there's
Swimming
the swimming
pool.
pool one. I wasn't
You guys
really
are
a
gonna
part of that one. But we
So
had
stupid.
They said they're going
But
to
they
turn the
believe
sweat
it.
lodge area into a swimming area, and then if you were DOR free, that you could go in there after a year.
swimming pool.
Because they were like moving it or something. It was like all emptied.
Yeah.
And so they started a rumor.
Oh,
We
that's
talked
right.
about, yeah,
Because they were
turning-
moving it to
Yeah, different area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is they're like, no, I think you're going to make it a pool. You have to be DOR free for a year, and then you could go swimming.
We talked about them turning the chapel into like a big salad bar, like open salad bar area, and like these rumors they catch quick, and so you're just talking there by yourself. Me and Turner standing right, people getting their trays, walking off. We're just standing there at the podium, kind of watching, just talking to ourselves. But these inmates walking by, they're hearing.
Yeah.
They listen to everything. And so
Are you guys intentionally doing this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we would start the craziest. Like everybody's gonna get free Wi-Fi next month. Like they're setting up the routers, and then like,
and you'd see them setting up the routers on the
sergeants of the units. They would start getting these kites. Like, hey, where's my Wi-Fi? I'm supposed to have Wi-Fi this month.
I remember
all sorts of crazy.
I remember
rumors.
we used to use our radios as like a scanner. We would just push a button to make it beep. And we're like, let me see if you. Nope, you're not good. Or, all right, you're good. Keep on going. They're like, what are you? You're just like, all right, keep going.
Dude, see, that's the little stuff too.
I
though,
miss
that
the
makes
fights
us-
in the chow halls.
That was my first time spraying. Was in the chow hall, and that was like an unwritten rule: is you don't spray in the chow hall,
Yeah.
and you don't run into your own stream in the chow hall. But
I've done that. I loved spraying in the chow hall.
The chow hall, yeah.
Loved it.
Didn't matter to me.
No, I give a
No,
shit
see, I
less
liked,
if you guys
I liked
hate
all
or
the
not.
smaller stuff, like making up the rumors. I thought that stuff
So
was funny, and the stuff that you would hear that, and especially the telephone game, like of the rumors,
Yep.
like that was equally as funny too, because the rumor would start, and then like 2 or 3 days later,
It'd be something completely
oh my
different.
god, yeah, like Beyonce's coming to perform, and you're like,
Blown out of
what,
proportion.
dude, is happening right now?
but
But
I used to just like make up names for people to kite for stupid stuff.
yeah, I would do that too, dude.
Me,
Sergeant Asparagus.
Where's
Yeah.
Officer Dienda?
Yeah.
Or there was one officer that kind of just got picked on a lot, and I always just told him like, just send him.
Nomer.
Hey, can I?
Okay.
I can say this now, but I would have everybody kite froz.
we're name dropping.
I would have everybody kite froz on everything, Guy Froz, because I couldn't stand his wife at the time. So I would literally everything. I'd be like, send it to Froz. He'll get it taken care of. And I remember he came down. This was probably like 3 months before I left, and he was like, "Who is telling?" And I just remember sitting there, just like dead silent, just like, well, I don't know. Like I made it a mission to never talk to this guy. I couldn't stand his wife. I didn't want to talk to him. But yeah, dude, everything. Anytime somebody had a grievance for anything, kite froz. He's in investigations. He has connections. He'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. And so he'd be getting kites. So he literally came down and was like, "Look, guys, like, stop. It's not." He's like, I would come back from my like days off, and just his mailbox was just stacked with kites about the dumbest shit. And that was me and Trickett.
I was so bad on the kite thing. I never responded. I was like,
I was bad on the picture
I would always
thing.
check my thing walking in ISGC. You got your mailbox. I check, and I was like, "There's a recycling bin."
Yeah.
I was like, if it's important enough, they'll grieve me. Which I've been open about. I was just a shitty officer back then, so whatever. Like I was an indigent officer too, and then they just give me like,
You were the worst indigent officer.
Get a little broke off pencils.
Yeah.
You would give them.
Like sex being broke.
Sharpen them down to nubs.
well, they would like send me like all these like I need indigent, whatever, and then I just forget to check my box inside of the unit, not the main one. And then I check, and it's like October, and I have stuff from like April. I'm like, I think they got it by now, hopefully. Or then I would do indigent. People would, it would be like Saturday, and they're like, all right, we got to go do cell searches. I'm like, sorry, guys, I got indigent to do.
Oh, I love it. What were you gonna say?
So going back to the rumors, it was Siebold kind of started the whole thing.
Yeah.
I love Seabold.
Funniest guy.
Yeah.
So it was
Seabold
me,
great.
I wish I
Siebold-
spent more time with him. But
Me,
yeah.
Siebold, and Turner were out walking the rec yard. There was a pipe broken up on the pie yard.
Uh-huh.
And so a sprinkler line had blown. It flooded the whole thing. So you could, like, it was raised. And
Yeah.
so from the other yard, you could see that it was, like, wet
Yeah.
up there, but you couldn't tell anything else because it's at almost exact eye level.
Yeah.
we're walking. They're supposed to have like soccer tournaments and soccer games like scheduled and plans. Like, we can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it right now. And they're just, why? And so Siebel, me and Turner, Siebel started. Well, turns out like they found oil up there.
Oh, I remember this.
We found oil up there, and so this company in Texas is going to come and start mining oil. We're going to have to shut down the facility, but good news, there's room in Texas. They're going to just like the Texas company's coming in, and we're sending you guys down to where they were.
Oh
at.
my
And,
God.
We
so
did send people to Texas.
we started this rumor, and they were talking at the time about it was the whole Texas
Yeah.
swap where we were sending people. So
Do you think that's
it
where it
made it a
stemmed
little
from?
more
Yeah.
legitimate. Like, and so we just started this rumor and hilarious, laughing to ourselves. And then like 3 days later, we get called in to the warden's office.
Oh no.
And he's asking us like, hey, you know anything about this stuff? We're like, oh, this got blown way out of proportion. What had happened is the inmates were worried about everybody going to Texas, and so some mom had
Oh, it's
heard
always the
about it.
moms.
Oh
Yeah.
my
They
God.
had
It's always
called out to
mom.
mom.
Yeah.
Mom called KNIN News.
Yeah.
News calls the warden
my
for
God.
a statement and
Oh,
a
some
story
oil.
about the oil that was found in ICC.
It all started with you guys?
It started with us.
Oh
And
my
we
God.
It was like, oh, that. We got in a bunch of trouble for that one
But
because a bunch of news agencies just started calling the warden
that's crazy.
about the oil that was found up on ISCC yard.
Oh my God.
And the Texas company's coming in and mine oil in Idaho.
Who would even believe that? I just don't. How could
That-
you be stupid enough that you would believe that?
It's so funny though, because they have nothing but time. So they went back and were just like dwelling on it. And then they were all
Yeah.
probably talking and they're like, oh my God.
I
you're
gotta
right.
call my mom.
Yeah.
And then they called their parents
Yeah.
and their loved ones, and they're like freaking out, like they're
I'm
going to send us all to Texas.
Yeah. That's so funny.
We did send a lot to Texas, though.
But instead of just like, hey, parents, like call in and figure out, like they went to the news,
Yeah. Like,
seeing if the news.
because
knew
that's
anything
the
about it.
logical
Like,
next
yeah.
step, right?
There's also a
I
lot
need
of
to
legal
call
beagles. They want to
KNI.
do
Yeah.
like they want
Oh.
to do like some lawsuit stuff or
Oh,
something. They're
yeah.
already starting that. And, yeah.
Well, yeah, they're tired of paying for their loser kids' commissary. So they're like, wait, if we can sue, oh my God.
I know.
Yeah.
Actually, I think most of the moms that are end up calling in think that their kids are innocent. They never did anything, and the system's just bad. And
Huh, dude, it's always the
those,
moms.
the moms that are like that. Yeah.
You watch any
Or
murder show?
grandmas or
Yeah.
But then you see people like
The moms are real.
what's that guy that was in for murder then got out?
oh, now he's dead.
Yeah, he was my that was actually my wife's mom's one of my wife's mom's friends.
Wait a
She
minute.
knew
He was
him
in
from
for
high
murder, got out.
Yeah, it was a big thing because he was in for like 20 years, and they found out that it wasn't him.
school, from Idaho Falls.
It wasn't
He-
that they just dropped all the charges, but then
Then he got into a fight in Las Vegas and died.
Oh, that's sick.
yeah, I don't know what the whole story is there, but yeah, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's wild. Who was the guy? Did Orange Peel ever make it over to ISCC?
Orange
Oh,
Peel.
oh gosh,
Yeah,
that's a
we know
crazy-
Orange Peel.
Yeah,
Okay.
was
Tell
there.
that story.
Poor
That's-
cat.
Poor cat.
I don't think people know about that anymore because you can't read PSIs. That was like always back when you could read PSIs.
Yeah.
I was like, go
Oh,
look up
yeah.
Orange Pill.
The
And they're like, what's
sphincter.
Orange Pill? You know,
Yeah, the
like,
sphincter was
This is the sphincter I've
chapstick,
ever
dude.
seen.
yeah. What was it? I didn't know if that made it all the way to ISCC. I thought that was just a
yeah.
Max thing. God, what was
Yeah.
his name
He
though?
was there.
Oh, I don't know that. Tell that who's ever got that best knows all of it. Tell that because that's hilarious. That'll
Well,
make
I
it
mean, I
look
know
good.
the
Sexually
story.
assaulting the
I just can't
cat?
remember. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
First of all, who names your cat Orange Peel?
I know.
Well, it's probably not a bad name, but now when everybody knows the story, they'll be like, I'd never name a kid that.
No,
It was probably
yeah.
like a kid that was like, oh, names
Well,
with
it was
crazy
a tabby
names.
cat because
His
there's a
cat's
picture.
orange.
There's
Yeah.
a picture in the PSI of the cat. It was a tabby cat.
The victim statement.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the loosest sphincter I'd ever seen. Yeah, it's hard to tell the story because
Yeah, because he had to, I remember reading the PSI and it was something like he put on 2 or 3 pairs of jeans when he would try and have sex with his animal.
Yeah.
Again, it was like scratching him, so he had to have so many pairs of pants on.
You had to wear multiple pairs of
dude,
pants.
that was the gnarliest. When I got out of post, that was the first thing I heard of.
And that, yeah,
like
his sister pregnant.
No, he was trying to get his mom pregnant.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're name dropping.
Yeah.
Number
In
dropping.
case anybody's asking.
Oh no, sorry.
He, yes.
199.
Didn't he like come into a condom or a sock and give it to his mom or something
Yeah,
like that?
try to get
It
her
was like a
pregnant.
toothpaste thing, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
toothpaste container.
Yeah. God, dude. He was a gross.
He had the magic trick of going to the
He'd go
shower
to the
with,
showers
Yeah,
with
with-
nothing.
with
Yeah.
Just
nothing
carry
and-
his towel.
It
Yeah.
was magic.
and then he would come out with 2 bottles of shampoo.
Yeah, dude. I
Shampoo.
worked J Block when he was in there,
So
and
gross.
oh my
I'm gonna have to
god.
cut this part out because that dude's a legal beagle, and he'll find any way to sue us. So.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, let him sue.
please.
It's freedom of information.
I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, I don't think-
Somehow we'd get sued.
I don't
think
think
so?
that part would. Yeah,
Especially his number.
Yeah.
Probably cut that out.
2 hours 14 minutes. I mean, I remember that one. Okay,
Isn't that public record?
not that he tried to fuck his mom and all that. That's probably not.
Yeah, that's true.
Or that
Any
he
visitation.
or that he shoved stuff up his ass. That's probably not.
Dude,
either,
no, but his
And that was
prison
ass
purse was
leaks.
pretty wild, dude. Like the stuff that he'd be able to, the loofah, the shower shoes, like
Dude, all in there.
all in there.
remember
He's all,
the-
and it just comes out, and he's just got like a whole pack.
Yeah, I remember stripping that dude out and visiting. His mom would come see him, and he'd just have like a whole wad of underwear, or like his underwear is like all toilet paper in it.
Mm-hmm.
He had the special note that he could get extra toilet paper rolls,
Yeah.
like 6 a day or something.
Yeah.
Because his asshole leaked,
He
or
had
something, right?
to plug it. And
Yeah.
Use him as a tampon.
God, who was the orange peels person?
Yeah, I don't know that one. That was
This is
disgusting.
it's gonna totally
Met
irritate
some
me.
funny dudes there. The zoo monkey killer.
Oh yeah. He was all bragging about that for
Yeah.
a while. You know who I am? I killed the monkey at the zoo.
I
The
fought that monkey.
and then you see all the photos, and you're like, dude, the monkey fucked you up.
Yeah.
He's just the shortest, that short black dude, and the monkey just fucking tore him to shit.
Yeah.
Bit off a chunk of his ear.
What zoo was that at?
Boise?
That was at Boise Zoo, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, right early on when he come in, like he came into Chow in the Chow Hall.
Yeah.
And a bunch of inmates start and we had to like get control of that real quick.
Real
'Cause
quick.
He was
Dude, people have done some dumb shit here in the state. Because the population was so small that I feel like the crazy shit that did happen, like, I think that's why it's also like, I don't know, such big stories and why everybody knows about them. Like the whole orange peel
Yeah.
thing. I feel like if something like that happened in California or Texas, like, it would just be another story. But I feel like Idaho is like, the population
Yeah,
is
that's
so
what
small.
people do in California.
Yeah.
That is true.
just normal Florida guy.
Yeah.
Later on in my career, I just started to understand why they said don't look up what people did. And I was just
100%.
like,
Yeah.
But he like
I'm
bragged
You, you
about
see
it.
people like CVAX, PSI, and you're just like, this is why they tell you.
I used to
not
just play
Yeah.
like PSI roulette when I was up at the front desk. I was just like, let's see what you did.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. This side seems
Dude,
like
the amount of sex
typical dude.
offenders that pled down to,
Oh yeah,
like, dude,
some of the most disgusting stuff I've ever heard of.
and they get a
It's just-
burglary charge.
yeah,
Yeah, if you're West Wing, if you worked in West Wing, don't read those PSIs.
yeah. It was
That
just
shit-
crazy.
That
I'm
shit
like,
will make you have terrible dreams.
I'm like, how do you get
Dude.
away with that? And they're
Like,
you know.
how does nobody killed you yet?
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, speaking of West Wing, Jackson was the funniest dude. And
I
some of the
just
shit
saw
that
him.
he'd say.
I meant to tell you, I just saw him like a month ago. He flew out on one of my aircraft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's dying.
That's- Checks
His-
out.
Yeah, he's on
Way to bring the
a
mood down.
oxygen ventilator he carries with him.
That dude would say the wildest shit.
Do you remember Sergeant?
Yeah, I still talk to him every once in a
Me
while.
too.
He writes me all the time on,
He
He
on
comments
Facebook.
on like all my Facebook
Yeah.
stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, he's
Like I don't know what to say to you, dude. Like I'll post like something and he'll like start talking about his wife that died, and I'm like, I don't know
He
what to
always
say
just
to this
sends
dude.
lucky. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll post something, he'll be like, lucky.
yeah. Dude, I used to hate when he would come in and work overtime in the morning.
Because you knew something was going to get fucking stirred up.
Dude, he would
Get
walk by
stirred
and
up.
kick
2 hour
doors.
cell search.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew he was doing a cell search, and you knew he was going to piss somebody off.
Which I'm surprised he didn't get. Well, didn't he end up getting?
He did. He got assaulted
assaulted,
in my unit on my shift.
Okay, I was like, I thought he
Down
ended
in
up getting.
what was it? So JKL turned into was E.
Yeah, Echo.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the guy. I just hated when he'd come in because he would do count. Oh my god! So when I was on Graves and he would come in early and do count, and he would literally walk by and kick every single door.
To get them up so
Yeah.
he could,
And I'm like, bro, just count them. He's like, I want to see face and IDs, and I'm like,
to see faces.
yeah, I'm like, Sergeant, dude, you're not gonna be here when breakfast starts, dude, and things are about to be really bad. Please stop.
Did you like working in E Block or Pi better?
E Block. Speaking of pie,
You
you
like
like need to
12
bring
minutes.
this up.
Pie.
So there was this one day, we had a young Sidwell, Matthew Sidwell,
Before the facial hair.
working in pie building. And I remember me and Flowers, we're walking the tiers, doing our thing, we're doing
Flowers. I
count.
forgot about flowers.
And his inmate's like, hey, that dude, Sidwell, like, how old is that dude? Get on the radio. And I was like, hey, Sidwell, this inmate wants to know how old you are. And my radio was up. I didn't have the earpiece in. He's like, tell him I'm old enough to fuck your bitch. and our sergeant at the time was like, gets on the radio, he's like, oh, Craig Thompson. Craig Thompson. That's all he responds. He just comes on the radio, oh. And this inmate's like, who the fuck? I'm gonna whoop this dude's ass.
Oh my! You said that?
Oh, straight over the radio. Tell him I'm old enough to fuck your bitch.
That's so funny. I do miss old like Sidwell that just like didn't give a fuck, that just said whatever you wanted. But on the other
I
side
was
of it,
dying that day though.
I feel like it was like
Makes
an,
a comeback sometimes, but
it was like an arrogance that was like you just didn't give a fuck.
There was no fucks given.
Yeah,
He just didn't care.
He
Do
was
you know where that
young and dumb and
Full of it. Yep.
yeah.
Sergeant Smith put radio restrictions on all of us. He was like, okay, you're not allowed to say back door over the radio anymore. Because it just spiraled. We'd
Yeah.
be talking about going out the back door, DEF to get him direct. And it just spiraled
Yeah.
on the radio.
Anytime somebody,
And so Smith, we're no longer allowed to say back door on the radio. And other stupid little things like that.
you know, it would irritate me when like admin would get radios and then complain about the shit that we said, you know, because they would sound like sit in central control or something, and you know they've got the whatever it's the rotating radio, whatever you call it, and so they would hear like the different units talking, and they would complain about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, leave us alone. Like we don't go sit in your guys' office and let you.
I would
listen to
just laugh about it. I'm like, well, you
They're
don't want
like,
to hear it, don't
radio,
listen.
Radio etiquette. I'm like,
Especially
what are you supposed to do when someone's doing another dude and I've got to get alpha response down here?
This dude's in his ass.
Yeah. Like
That dude's one
two dudes a fucking, you know, and it's like
when Bras caught him banging, and he's like,
Oh,
I wasn't doing anything. I can't even get my dick hard.
Oh yeah.
that's what he said.
Yeah, that was his defense. And then later,
Valid
after,
argument.
after he already got his DOR and it was like confirmed, everybody was like, yeah, I was fucking that dude.
I was balls deep in that ass.
Oh my god.
Dude, before we get done, because he said he's got to go, but
Yeah,
you
I got
should-
like
you
10
should tell
minutes.
him the gay porn one.
Oh, you didn't hear about the gay porn. Yeah, so
I think that's like one of the best pranks.
There was in G Block,
such a
and
good
it was a good prank, but man,
Was this
sometimes I
on
feel
the-
like that went overboard.
We
Was
had a
this
whole
when-
drawer just full of like gay porn
Gay
that
porn.
we would just move it from people's mailboxes as like a joke.
So this isn't when people leave their computers up and you would set background screens.
No, that was fun too. That was also excellent.
Okay.
I love
Because
changing.
the amount of times I
screens to
signed
gay
on and they'd be like
Just-
Mandingo or something on my thing. I'm like, oh god,
porn.
dude.
Giant dick is your back screen.
Yeah.
No. One day I'm leaving work. It was overtime, so everybody in the unit had left before
Oh, I
me.
did.
So
Yeah.
I go out to my car, and like I open up the door, and there's just fucking gay porn everywhere, shoved in my car. Just gay porn, literally everywhere.
All in the cracks, so you couldn't see it when you opened
like
it.
the door's open. There's just gay porn blowing all over the
parking lot.
parking lot,
And
and
it's
I
your
was like,
car.
Yeah.
It was his
And I was
car.
like, man, fuck this. So there's just gay porn everywhere, and I just left it blowing all over the thing. Well,
And it's visitation night.
yeah, it's visitation
Oh,
night. So there's
no.
just gay porn blowing all. It was windy, so when I opened up the door and my door blew up, and there's just gay porn flying all over the area.
Oh my
And I was just like,
God.
you know, what, fuck this. I'm not picking this up. I'm letting it blow up.
Yeah.
So I had some in my car, but I was like, I'm not touching this without fucking gloves.
Yeah.
So I leave, I get home. I don't know. A few days down the road, my wife had to go get me gas.
Oh no.
I get this call, and she's like, honey, I'm at the gas station at Fred Meyer's. She's like, I just opened up the gas cap, and there's just a bunch of dudes fucking everywhere. She had shoved those pictures underneath my gas door, so as soon as she popped it popped open. Gay porn's just fucking dropping all over the fucking parking lot. At the gas station with my wife.
Oh, that's
And I was
amazing.
like, oh my God.
This is all you, right?
Yeah, that was him.
Where'd you get all the gay porn?
We would just find it from people's cells, and then we would just.
He brought it from his house. Don't let him get you.
No, so this isn't stuff like you guys printed off. Like,
No,
this
it's
is
just stuff we
you
would
found.
find out.
Confiscation.
No.
Cell searches.
I probably had a
Oh my
Seaver
God.
cell.
Keep a pile of the confiscations.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a bunch that we always had. And then
Laminated.
Yeah, nice.
That's so-
you just
Oh.
find it randomly. Like, we would just put it in people's drawers or whatever, and then they open and be like, oh, you got me, whatever.
Yeah.
I tried to sneak some anytime I could. If I was walked by a lieutenant's office, there was nobody in me. Like, try to sneak in his drawer and toss some shit in his drawer and
Yeah.
walk off.
Dude, who was?
I mean, you had to do that kind of stuff to make the day go by. I mean, our crew did a lot of pranks. I mean, Nebuchadnezzar always did the coffee ones, and then we started putting butter on everything. And then
Dude,
you
the
get all
butter
the-
was irritating,
the butter on the
dude.
toilet seat.
Oh
with
my
bras.
God. The
She
butter.
was so pissed that day. I remember she came out, she got on the radio and she was like screaming. I was like, anybody understand that? She's like speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Comes out and she's just screaming. She went to sit on the toilet seat and there was butter all over the toilet.
Dude, there's like 3 times I like went to grab something that day or whatever, and it would just be
On
like
the
butter,
door
dude.
handle.
I'm like, God damn it, dude.
You get it on the soap dispenser.
Yes.
Our soap and hand sanitizer. You'd be like,
Yeah.
Oh, remember when you would put a hole in the top of the sanitizer so you'd go to do it and it just squirt straight up?
Yeah, it was just-
Remember when you used to
Just
be on
little pump
OS?
handles.
Remember when you were on OSP and you had the elk bugle?
yeah.
And you were just bugling all out to the inmates as you're doing your laps. We were
would
getting
be
ready for
driving
hunting
around
season.
Out of G
the
block
rec
and
yard.
Oh.
We'd do that in the hallway. Come hunting season, we'd be out doing rec movements or whatever. We'd be standing out in the hallway. We always had the cones. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you walk on this side of the cone. And so before movements start, we'd have the bugles.
Bugling at each other.
Just down the hallway. It
That's
just
so
echoes
funny.
so loud throughout the halls.
When I was on transport one time, my buddy Jerry was driving and I had a cow call in my mouth. I'm just cow calling the whole time. I was like, yeah, I think you sound freaking great. You can stop that anytime now. And I'm just going at it. And he's like, real good. You can stop now. Dude, transport was the best. Like, talk about pranking. Like, I remember when we were about 20 minutes out from the institutions, I had a prison playlist on my phone. I would just start playing like Locked Up. I'd play like Prison Blues by Johnny Cash, like all these prison songs. And the inmates, like, it was 50-50 whether they thought it was funny or not, but I thought it was funny.
Don't go to prison.
And then when I took the women to Pocatello, I had the Orange is the New Black theme song that would play once we go up the long hill.
Oh, they would love that, I'm sure.
That was funny.
Oh, women were the worst.
Yeah. I mean, watching, was it with Bam that you were talking about, the women?
Yeah, they're disgusting.
Oh, dude, so gross. I did one overtime shift at the women's prison. Never.
SBWCC.
Yep.
Yeah, I lasted about an hour and a half,
I
and
heard
I was
the
like,
smells
get
there were
me.
delightful.
Dude, it smelled like pennies and shit.
I had to do a week there
You did?
to cover. Yeah.
Oh, I did like an hour and a half. I was out.
Yeah, I did like a whole week. And
I went
it
to the
was
lactation room.
The
and it was-
cats.
Yes.
Stupid cat
Lactation
program.
room?
Yeah, so they have a lactation room for like when people come for visitation and stuff, and
I like they got
They
it.
got babies. Yeah.
it just reeked in there, and there was just like
Kids.
milk, dried.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Dude, and there'd be like bloody umbrellas everywhere, and like, oh,
Shark Week.
yeah, and they would all sink
Brutal.
too, you know, because they're
Just
all.
have a bunch of bitching
Oh
women
my
all together.
God, dude.
Fucking, that sounds like loads of
Like
fun.
I said, I was literally there for an hour and a half. I don't. maybe 2 hours. But I did the overtime. And I literally went, and it was a female warden that was running at the time. This is probably back in like 2016. And I just got off OJT, and I was like doing overtime and thought, hey, it was either like Tower something at the yard or go to, South Boise Women's. And I was like, so I asked my FTO, I'm like, hey, which one should I do? And he's like, dude, go to South Boise Women's. That's easy. And I was like, okay, cool. Literally like an hour and a half in, I'm like, get me out of here, dude. I cannot do this. Like,
You're probably getting catcalled.
oh my God, it was horrible. I'm like, you guys are
You're what you
like,
call prison hot.
yeah, dude, they're like, it was so gross. And I'm like, God, you women are like, have some class, like something, dude.
That's as classy as they get.
They're, like I said, just smell like pennies and just shit. And yeah, and they would just say nasty things. I think you were talking about it too, like the stuff that they talk about. And you're like,
Oh, they're disgusting.
So
Man.
just open about.
It's like
everything.
OnlyFans. You just hear them talking. You're like,
it,
oh my gosh.
it really is, dude.
You guys aren't even getting paid for this.
No.
You're just doing voluntary work for.
Dude, I just told the shift commander, I was like, hey, I gotta go. Like, I can't work here. She was like, well, so they called Max and had somebody else, a female, come work. Cause I was like, I just told her I feel uncomfortable. I was like, they're making comments and I just feel really uncomfortable. And they're like, okay, we'll get you a relief. And I was like,
Just
"Kidding
zone
me?"
it out as best you can.
Dude, I just like, as soon as like my relief got there, I just like stared at the floor and just booked it, dude. I didn't say bye to anybody, like nothing. There was like a guy, assistant shift commander, who was like super clean cut. I don't remember his name. And I remember like making eye contact with him. Like, how do you work here, dude? Like, I would have quit before I even got here if I could have.
My response that I picked up so quick just for my time there was just like, they'd come up, say something, just nope.
Yep.
Turn and beat
yeah.
feet. Nope. Turn, get out of there.
Yep. There's a
Nope.
girl in Suicide Watch, and she was she got, I don't know how she was getting it, but she kept on making like pleasure toys, and she was on Suicide Watch. So I'm like, I don't understand how you're getting stuff in there, but she was basically like taking the lids and like rolling them up, and then like taking parts of her sheet to like tie it. I don't know. I didn't personally deal with this, but I was like listening to the person that was on the Suicide Watch talk about it. You know, because they get like the flex trays or whatever. And so they would roll it up, and then she would take like some thread or something. And, yeah. And I'm like, and does she get the same like flex tray every day? They're like, no. And I'm like, oh, so that her dildo could be anybody else's. Like, that's brutal, dude.
Like, I wonder where this flex tray's
Just get
been.
Yeah.
mixed in.
The food's extra seasoned today.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Oh,
Flex tray smells like ass.
yeah. Why does it smell like pennies?
Tastes like ass.
Yeah. Because you know, like where the Suicide Watch is, like that, it's like the rooms within the rooms. It was like right there. So I was sitting on the outside, and the girl, like, she was on the inside. She was creepy. It's like, it was almost like a horror story. Like, her little face would pop up in the mirror or in the window, and she'd like, "Ah," like making weird noises. And I'm like, what's wrong with this girl? And she'd be like singing to herself and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, and they're like, hey, when she gets the flex trays, you have to watch her. And I'm like, I'm not watching her. Like, no way. And that's when
Those
To
flex
make sure
trays.
you get
that's
it
when
back.
the lady's like, oh yeah, she rolls it up and turns it into a pleasure toy. And I'm like, what? How does that work?
Glove up.
And she's like,
I
just
just love
wait.
the thought of that. That's going to somebody else after her.
Yeah. Well, that was like my initial thought. Like, wait a minute. So that goes. Anybody here could I have that tray? She's like, yep. Tomorrow, somebody else could have that tray. I'm like, what?
It gets washed. You know.
No, thank you.
You want a staff meal?
That's why I never ate a single staff meal.
Oh, I did all the time, dude.
I remember this
Yeah.
dude.
Do you ever wonder if maybe that was one of her flex trays?
This dude. We'll end on this story, but I remember when you and
It was
Myers.
Officer Appreciation Week.
Was it Myers?
Yeah.
And you guys came in early for G Block for overtime, and you guys were on. You guys were the R&Es or rec staff or something then.
We were wrecked.
Yeah, yeah. And so you guys do like a pancake eating contest with all the pancakes left over trays.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love Pancake Day.
And then I think it was Sergeant Smith found out that you guys had done that, and so while you guys are hanging out in the rec, he calls like a fake emergency out in H Block, so they have to run the whole way on their.
Oh no.
And you guys get out
We
to
were
H Block,
RDs,
yeah,
that
and
was-
you guys just end up puking like once you get there.
And we had like 20 pancakes each.
Oh my God.
We just pounded.
And he called a
Everybody's
fake
still
emergency.
asleep. Yeah,
You called the drill, yeah,
he called the drill.
just so that they would have to make that quarter-mile run.
Oh,
Dude, that is a
gosh.
journey, bro.
That
That is a
brutal.
journey.
Oh yeah. There's nothing fun about running all the way out to H.
No. No, and especially when you get stuck at all the doors, because you're like heart rate drop, and you're
Yeah.
like, dude, get me out to H. I feel like they should just like unlock all the doors.
You're sitting out at H and you're just sitting there tugging on the
Yeah.
door. Like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. Well, I'm here.
Yeah. I feel like they should just like there should be like an unlock all button that just gets you straight to H.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the amount of times I would get respond out there and just be stuck, and they're like, "Where's Alpha response?" Like, "Hey, we're still at gate 3, waiting to get in."
Yeah.
You know,
If your radio worked.
yeah. If your radio worked, but
All right. Well,
we'll do this fun reminiscing with you guys.
yeah, it was good.
That was good.
Sure, we'll get some good clips out of it. I'm not
For
sure
sure.
anybody will get much out of it, but it was fun.
It was fun to talk.
I
to
think
this, yeah.
I think you'd be surprised the amount of people that would think it's funny to
Yeah.
listen to
Well,
stuff.
we were talking earlier about you with getting painted up with OC.
Yeah.
We had Redan. He always seemed to be like first person at the door.
Uh-huh.
So Redan gets there. They're fighting right at the door, right off in the corner.
Yeah.
So I get there second. John Stone is behind me. Door rolls. Redan pops it open, tells them to stop fighting, blows OC. They don't stop fighting. Corporal John Stone yells at me, "Hands on!" And so I go through the door, and Redan blows OC again,
No.
just cakes the side of my face.
I'd be so
As I'm
pissed.
going in. And then I just hit this guy up against some of the doors
Yeah.
that were right there and get him down to the ground. And we get it all handled, taken care of. And then I got him in cuffs, just blind, completely blind. It was
Dude,
like
from-
OC never really affected me unless I got it directly on me. Like
Yeah.
I could breathe in a tear that had a whole can blown out. Like
Yeah.
fine. And never
Oh, yeah, I was fine.
respiratory wise, I was fine. But I'm blind. I got him in cuffs. I'm kind of like doing the peek and like look,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to escort him out the tier, and I run him face first right into the door frame. Both of us are blind. He got OC'd, I got OC'd. He's in cuffs, getting him out, and then Hasanovic meets me at the door. He's like, "Hey, go clean up. I'll take him."
That's
Like,
so funny.
thanks, but
That's
he
so
like
funny.
fractured his nose because I just ran him straight into the door
that
frame.
hit that hard.
Just walked him
That's so
straight
funny.
out.
Didn't Redan use it as a brass knuckles or something too?
That was Levi
Willard
yeah.
used his. Was it Mark 9 or Mark
It
4 as
was
brass knuckles?
Mark 9. He had it by the grip, and he sprayed the guy, and then the guy came at him, and then he
remember
just
seeing
used
that,
it and
yeah.
punched him in the face with the 9, dented the 9.
That's so funny.
He's lucky it
hit
didn't
him
pop
so
off,
hard.
dude.
That was a shit.
Trust me, I know.
All right, well, gents, that was fun.
Yeah.